It's the kickback. Grab a drink, crack it open, homie, sip that. Grab the weed, roll it up, homie, hit that. Make a plate, have a feed, homie, relax. It's the kickback. Grab a drink, crack it open, homie, sip that. Grab the weed, roll it up.
Everyone up there, everyone loved the event. Everyone was like, "Oh fuck, we had fun." I didn't see one person not have fun there. Like the energy in that room was so like we could have lit up Las Vegas with all the fucking energy we had in that fucking room.
I agree.
And so that was what Mr. Lou and Escalante were telling me, because they were like, "Why are you so hard about the event?" And I'm like, "Because all this went wrong." He goes, "But the fans had fun."
Exactly.
And the energy was so fucking good. They even Mr. Lou goes, "It could have lit up Las Vegas."
Really?
Like the energy was that good. Everyone was vibing. Everybody was laughing, having a good old time. He goes, "I don't think they cared. I think they wanted to live in the moment." And I think the reputation of being one group being the most unprofessional podcast. Ramos, you don't know what's gonna happen. Gil, he's high, and then with you, it's the kickback. So it kind of like made Mr. Luke kind of brought it to my attention. It made sense that some of the stuff went wrong because it goes with your guys' reputation, right?
Yeah, things just it can't go right. Everything can't go right with us.
Yeah, so it kind of made sense. But then he goes, but it's
Yeah.
a learning process to move forward to the next one. And I'm like, okay, you're right. But I still give it a 7 out of 10.
Yeah, like even my guys were because even like the whole event going into it, I was like, I just want the audio to be fine. I want the audio to be fine.
That was my thing too.
I was like, I don't care about anything else. I was like, as long as everyone can hear us fine and nothing goes wrong, like that's all I care about. And then like I'm in the back, like fucking sitting there. You saw me. I'm just like fucking sitting like that.
You're just contemplating life at the moment, yeah.
And then I hear like one little kind of thing. I was like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
All right, whatever. I was like, yeah, it's one little thing. Then like the next person goes on, I hear another little thing. I'm like, the fuck's going on?
It was pretty bad.
Like I legit wanted to just pop out of what the fuck's going on out here? Like Jesus Christ!
I felt bad at it. I don't even think I apologize to Ramos. There were times I saw Ramos sitting down. I go, "Yo, Jose," and he's like, he looks at me like, "What? Make the fucking audio." And he's like, "Oh, it's because of this, doggy." And I'm like, "Go fix it." And I thought I was rude to him. He hasn't said nothing to me, and you know him. He's very blunt. He would have told me, "Hey, Doug, I didn't like the way you talked to me."
Yeah, he would have said it.
You would have told me, so I don't think so, and maybe he'll listen, he'll think about it, and be like, "Yeah, they're right. This motherfucker is pushing me around to go fix it," because I don't know shit about it. When it comes to those fucking speakers, I don't know.
Those things are older than us, dude.
Yeah, I don't know a goddamn thing. So I entrusted Jose to take care of that. And there were times I'd be like, "Hey, go check it out." Like,
yeah,
there's too much feedback. What are you doing?
At the same time, I was like, I can't say anything because I fucking didn't help. I was like, I didn't help. Like, I kind of helped put the fucking set shit up, but at the same time, I was like, I can't do this right now. Like, I can't be out there fucking sweating my balls off and just like trying to figure shit out. So I was like, like if I was like good enough and healthy and I was fine, like I wouldn't have minded just being right there, like
helping Amber out, yeah,
doing something, yeah.
Because even Amber felt so overwhelmed. Like,
it's a lot, like for just one person, it's a lot. Yeah. So that's why, like, if Amber wasn't there, oh my god, Amber, like we would have been triple fucked.
I praised her on Saturday. She produced the Whittier Fight Club for Haney for Zolomachenko. I praised her the whole fucking night, even after the show and before the show. I praised her. I go, "Hey, it wasn't for you, I don't think we would have been able to pull this shit off."
Yeah, Amber's amazing.
Amber's a fucking trooper. I see where why he's so successful.
Gil got lucky, 100%.
And I told her that. And I told Gil that you lose her,
you're fucked.
You're fucked, dude.
Yeah, good luck.
You're doing
none of us are gonna do this shit for you.
You're doing podcasts out of a park, dude. That's what the fuck you're gonna be doing. No offense, that's not a shot at anybody. I'm just saying you're doing podcasts at a park.
Yeah, like she'd helped a lot. Like even Chris helped out a lot with like
my wife.
The wives / girlfriends stepped up tremendously.
Fuck yeah!
If it wasn't for them, like I don't know. Even Ramos's brother, like everyone that helped out, we needed you.
Even that security guard pushed a lot of people back.
Fucking Michael, I love Michael. He's the one that asked that fucking stupid ass question about middle school girlfriend. I was like, you motherfucker, because I didn't see him the whole time we were recording, and then he asked this question, and I just see his head. I see his head peek out, and I look at him like, you motherfucker. Yeah. As soon as the podcast was over, he walks up, he's like, did you like the question? I was like, you're the one who fucking wrote it on. You motherfucker. But, yeah, even he did a great job. Like, everyone was doing a great job.
Oh, yeah. I'd rehire them.
Oh, yeah. But it was definitely a roller coaster. I want to do it again while
I want
not
to
sick. Even, but like I was saying, talking to to my guys, because they're not afraid to tell me the honest truth. And I was like, guys, what do you think? I'm not gonna be offended. I'm not gonna be butthurt about how.
I said something to my guys.
And they were like, honestly, like the show was awesome. Like the people, he was like, the people performing, everyone did great. He's like, obviously the audio was the mishaps and all that stuff were the main things. And some of them, were saying like, yeah, you could tell that you guys were like a man short. Like,
oh yeah.
Like you weren't like me not being out there was noticeable. And he's like, and we don't blame you. You're fucking sick, but like just having that extra person to help do whatever, they're like, it would have helped a lot. I was like, fuck. I was like, wait, if it made me feel even worse.
But it's
the truth.
It's
like,
the truth. You were out. Like I said, you were a trooper. You were sick. You were literally, ladies and gentlemen, this motherfucker was dying. This fucker was dying in the back. And the fucker was popping. He wasn't popping pills. I don't know what the fuck you were taking. You were taking.
Oh, I was taking cough drops.
Like, you was taking fucking
I ate a whole like that whole night. I had a whole bag of cough drops.
And yeah, they were gone.
Yeah.
I know Chris was like, hey, Chris left almost like a whole bag, like a whole like wrapper. Like you just left them.
I tried to have them in my pocket, but my pocket got full of fucking wrappers, dude. I got home, and like my little button up, I got home and I was like, oh fuck. I was like, where my keys? I wanted to just go to bed, and I was like, what the fuck, dude? I had a handful of cough drop wrappers, and then like as soon as I laid down in bed, I was like, oh my god, I left fucking wrappers on the table.
Crystal caught them. Crystal threw it away before the owners came in.
Yeah,
and checked everything out.
Motherfucker.
She did a quick pass through of the green room, and she goes a bunch of wrappers and soda cans and a cup, and I'm like, yeah, I think it was my cup. I go. But she goes, yeah, I threw all that away, you fucks. And I'm like, I mean, that's why I have you. You're my wife.
I was like, sorry, fuck. I do remember that. As soon as I got to it, I was like, fuck, I didn't clean up that stupid-ass little wrappers.
But to me, overall, it was a good night. I liked it. I would do it again. Even with everything we went through from the inception to the end, I'd do it again. Mm-hmm. There's nothing I would change. I would actually do it again.
Yeah, definitely the whole concept of everything was fun. It was good. I liked it. But...
it's actually motivated me to want to fucking do my own.
Yeah.
Like I was talking to about it. We had a fan question that said, like, hey, would you guys ever do one? And I thought about it. Oh, shit. And, of course, those, Mr. Lou and... I didn't think Escalante was even like, yeah, we should fucking do one. And I'm like, the fuck you guys are down? Like, you guys don't know the trouble you guys don't want to get into. Like, what the fuck you doing about? Like, dude, nah. I've thought about it, though.
Yeah, and that's why I think I know my guys would never do one. They've said it straight up. They said it on the pod. Like, no, we're never going to do one.
What?
The only one that would be down is Louis. Jesse and Abe said absolutely not. But the idea of the whole beer pong thing, so they were thinking, like, the only way we do something is if we just throw an event, not a performance. Just an event to just...
Dude, that's just the best.
So that's how that sprung about. And then I was like, okay, like...
I'm down.
I want to do something with you guys. Like, I want to do an event. I want all four of us to... Because if there is anything, like, if they say yes to something, they're very full, all-in committed. Like, Abe would probably be texting me every single day up until the event. He already texts me every day, but he'll text me every day about the event, about this, about that. What are we doing here? What are we doing there? Did we get this already done? Did we get that? Like, he'd be on me on everything.
Oh, shit, okay.
Louis would be the same way, and then Jesse would be the same. Like, they would be making sure everything is, like, we'd cross our T's and dot our I's. So then when we thought about the beer pong thing, we're like, fuck, this might be something. Like,
this could be a yearly thing.
Yeah, like every summer or something, we do a beer pong tournament. Fuck. And who knows, it could get bigger and bigger each year. Mm-hmm. And this is like a perfect time for podcasters to connect and collaborate or set something up. Like, hey, let's record this day or that. Like, because sometimes you don't want to throw the DM out there. Sometimes you're just like, But if you're there in person and you're vibing, you get a chance to vibe real quick. See, and then you can answer that question like, maybe I don't want to do a podcast with them, but they're a cool person. Maybe not, or you fucking connect with them, bond, like have a good time. You're like, I definitely need you on a podcast now.
I think that's a great idea. I think it's you said a good way to network with somebody, especially like you just said. If they were afraid to like be like, I don't know if fucking this guy can. Maybe he's too wild, and then they meet you like, oh fuck, this was not. He's nothing what I thought or I heard on the show. He's like a down to earth guy. Because sometimes you don't, like you said, a DM doesn't really do it. It's actually meeting somebody and interacting with them, feeling that person out, getting the vibe out of them.
Yeah, because sometimes the only interaction that you have with that person is what you see on their podcast or online or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
So obviously you and I are different when we're not podcasting.
Oh, fuck no. Yeah, I'm a character.
Yeah, sometimes we're off a podcast. We could sit in a room in silence and not even say a word.
We've done
Yeah.
We've done that. We're like, have the camera on. We're fucking.
Yeah, like I've literally had someone be like, "Don't you do a podcast?" Like, yeah, this means I want the center of attention every fucking moment of my life.
Exactly,
like,
yeah.
I don't need to be talking. But then there are some people that are the opposite. They're super talkative, super this, and then you put a mic in front of them, and they're like, yeah.
Yeah, I like podcasting.
Or they just turn into the one word and yes.
Yeah, I feel you.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, like say, so being able to get that experience or that one-on-one moment to answer your question or to check it off, like, all right, I vibe with this person, I fuck with this person, and to top it off, when we do have that podcast, we have something to talk about.
True.
So it'll be something that we definitely want to do. I haven't set a date on it yet, or we haven't set a date on it, but it's gonna be something we definitely.
Have you thought about like doing it as like a live stream event where like people can go on real quick and, you know?
Yeah, so that's what I was trying to think, and Abe had come up with a great. I think it was Abe. Yeah, Abe came up with a good idea. Is we should have a host that's just live streaming the entire time, but he was like, oh, that dude that was hosting your stuff.
Dude from LA.
He was like, yeah, I was like, dude from LA, and he's like, yeah. He's like, what if we get him? We have someone, hold the phone, and he goes around just commentating on all the games. And I was like, damn, that's a good idea. Like, he's pretty witty, he's pretty funny. Like, he could probably do it. I was like, all right, so maybe that's one guy we reach out to, see maybe he hosts it, or maybe since we're hosting the event, maybe when we're not actually playing, we're the ones walking around with the camera, commentating on the games, asking freaking like kind of like the NBA or NFL sideline reporter, like, hey, your game just finished, post game interview, hey, your game just finished, you guys just lost, you guys just won, how do you feel?
Yeah, and then
some stupid ass shit like that.
That to me would be fun. Like when you threw me the idea, and then when you guys were saying that, and you posted the post, and then you said, hey, this is actually, we're thinking about doing this. I'm like, oh fuck, this be like, the ideas are endless, and it's not just an idea, it's a possible thing now. This isn't something like you just thought up. Like, everything you just said right now is possible. Yes. It's not a pipe dream. It's fucking real shit that you can actually pull off. Whether it be here, whether it be if you can find a space somewhere.
That was the next question. It was like, all right, because originally I was like, my garage, my house right here, perfect. But then we started thinking, like, how many people can we actually get to do this? And I was like, okay, let's figure this out. Like, how many people can we honestly get as teams? How many teams can we get?
Okay, yeah.
And I was like, if we don't limit it to just podcasters, we can, because this is a perfect time for, whether it's a content creator, you could still, participate and connect with them and say, hey, I need you on my podcast, like, whatever. Yeah. So it's still networking at the same time. So I was like, all right, if we eliminate the whole podcast thing and we just have people that are, whether it be influencers or maybe whoever wants to join, whoever wants to be a team.
It's open invitation.
We could probably get 20 teams.
Jesus.
Teams of 2. 20 teams. Honestly, easily, I could get 20 teams, or we can get 20 teams without a doubt. You and Jose, that's one.
That's a tag team right there.
My 4, or me and my 3 guys, that's already 2 teams right there. That's already 3 teams. My brother already reached out. He's like, I want to be in this.
Oh, shit.
I hit up the What Up Partner podcast.
Those fuckers seem like they're down.
They're like, I'll fucking do it. That's another one. Gil and Amber said they're down already. Like, I was like, fuck. And then, like, all the other people that were hitting me up, like, hey, bro, like, I'm down to do that. Like, people that weren't podcasts, like, hey, let me know. I'm down. Like, people who listen to it, like, people are just like, hey, can listeners, you want to be a fuck it, dude? Jump on in. So I was like, fuck.
And the thing for the listeners, if they can get a certain, like, person to be like, hey, you can represent us, and here's some merch. That's even better. Like, let's say Chicano Shuffle said they don't know how to fucking play. That's funny. I call bullshit. They gotta learn how to play.
That'll be hilarious. Like, you know what? We don't know how to play, but
I'd already have these guys.
we got 2 listeners from the fucking Patreon that we're gonna pay for the entry, whatever. They're gonna represent Chicano Shuffle.
There you go.
How fucking cool would that be?
That'd be great.
As a listener, you're like, holy fuck, I gotta win this shit for them. Like, and then even if you're like, if someone was representing the Kickback, I'd be like, all right, dude, you're getting a Kickback shirt.
Yes.
You're getting a Kickback this. You're getting a fucking Kickback tantana. I don't give a fuck. And if you win, you're gonna be on the fucking podcast. You're gonna do something like I would do that shit. Like,
You make it worth the while. That means, yeah,
Right?
Fuck, exactly.
or like even for podcasters that just have one person. Like, let's say if you and Jose weren't teamed up. Let's say Jose's like, hey, you know, someone from the Patreon, whatever. I need a partner. Me and you could be partners with it.
Well, Jose says he still hasn't confirmed to me he accepted my partnership.
Oh, I don't know. Maybe.
I don't know. I called him out and said, hey, I want you to be my partner.
Fuck it. Maybe you can get a rambling
I know.
listener.
Because I was going to get Penny, but Penny's, I don't know where the fuck he's at.
So am I?
He's in my, so usually he's my partner.
I'm just saying, maybe you can get a Rambling Alcoholics listener to be your partner.
You know what I'd do? I would bring my stablemate, the Midnight Banshee, and all she'd do is just be topless doing beer pong. You guys be distracted. I'd be like,
Damn, that's cheating.
no, it's not. There's no rules, isn't that shit?
It's
It
cheating,
says you
dude.
can't be topless
As long as she covers your nipples.
with my stickers, yeah.
Yeah.
I should just jiggle them, and I'll be like,
I'm like, huh?
exactly. Just shoot that shit.
Damn, dude, that's gonna be.
I'll science the fuck out of this, dude. Bro.
Dude, I'm telling you. So like, if we can easily get a lot of teams going, and then that's when it turned into fuck. I can't do this in my house. It's not enough space. So we're gonna have fucking that many teams.
I gotta help Monique again.
Oh fuck, that's too small of a space too. So I was like,
You gotta hit a brewery or something.
like a warehouse. Like, what if we get like an empty warehouse?
Where the fuck you getting an empty warehouse, bro?
You go on that Pier, what is it, Pier Space or Pier whatever?
There was that one guy that we saw that was renting it, and you know, I bet it was like a minimum of a certain time, and we're like,
But I think, I don't know. There's just a couple spots that I've been looking at that have piqued my interest.
there's no breweries that you know that'd probably be like, hey, you know what, we're down to host you guys.
That's a great. I didn't even think of that. That's a great idea.
Especially because it's beer pong, you know, tell them it's an event. The people that are going to show up are going to purchase beer anyways. And, of course, we're going to purchase beers because we need to fucking do this
We
tournament.
need to play the game.
We need to play the fucking game.
That's a great idea as well.
You
Maybe.
should hit up Brujeria. I mean, one of the guys, the brewmasters was there at the event.
Yeah. Maybe
Yeah.
I hit them up.
Absolution, bro.
Absolution. Oh, dude, we were bagging on you on the last episode.
Yeah, I kind of figured. I heard someone was like, hey, you know, they were saying something about
Yeah.
you. And I'm like, I'm not going to say who, but that listener knows who the fuck I'm talking to.
It was funny.
And I'm like, no, I haven't heard it yet.
It's funny.
But I know for sure I got made fun of.
Oh yeah, you did.
I know I did.
Of
And
course.
I know I had to do a lot to do with my shadow boxing.
No, it was not that. Not just that. But
But
it
I
was
got drunk at Jack Daniels.
because it was funny when you. The shadow boxing was one because it was funny. I was
nervous.
I was damn near dying. Dude. And I'm fucking sitting there, and all I just hear is.
That's my relaxing. That's how
I
relaxed.
looked. I was like, "What the fuck?" And I just see you going. I was like, "All right, fuck it, dude." I was like, it was funny, but I was like, "You gotta do whatever you gotta do."
To relax.
I was like,
Did I fuck up Absolution's name?
"Oh, that's what we were making fun of," because you were like,
I fucking
"What would you say?"
absolute.
Abstination. So we were.
That makes sense to me.
Yeah, so we were like, "Shout out!" Fucking Louis kept saying, "He's like, shout out Abstination," and I was like, "Oh, dude!" When he said that shit, I was like, "Absolution!" I was like, all sick. I was like, "Absolution! It's Absolution! Please remember Absolution." And then he's like, "Nah, fuck that. That's gonna be our beer pong team name, Abstination." Like, fuck it.
Damn. Fuck. I should have copyrighted that.
It was, yeah, we were laughing. It was all in good fun.
No, yeah. No, that's what they like. I haven't heard it yet. I was like, I'll hear it.
Yeah, it was all in good
I
fun.
kind of
It was
figured
fun.
like when they said the listener was like, hey, and I'm like, it's probably about the shadow box. I already know it. Even I get made fun of that all the time when I get nervous. That's like my trigger thing. I just have to like.
Whatever.
It just loosens me out.
Yeah.
Like I feel like the adrenaline is pumping, and I was nervous. My first time doing something live.
And it got. I don't know if it helped or didn't help that I was sick, but I wasn't nervous because I was too focused on being sick. So I was like, I don't even have fucking the energy to be nervous.
You know who I focused on the whole night? Mr. Lou.
You're just looking at him.
I was looking at him the whole night.
Really?
Not my wife.
That's
I was
crazy.
looking at Mr. Lou the whole
I
night.
don't even think I took a peek at my guys. I don't even know who I was looking at.
I saw him from the corner of my eye. but I always made sure I focused because Mr. Lou was kind of like not in the middle, but it was like almost by the bar area. But I felt like if I was looking at him, it made it seem like I was looking at everyone else.
You know what I regret the most that night?
What?
I didn't get to eat any of Carnitas King's food.
There's some leftovers, and my wife's like, "What are you gonna do with them?" Well, I'm gonna see. You guys have an after party. I was like, "No, we'll take those."
Oh my god, dude! The after party, I wanted to do it so bad. I'm glad I didn't, because when I got home, I started puking. Like, not just once. Like, I kept puking and puking, and then like, it's TMI, but I was pissing out of my ass, dude. It was not going well.
It's coming out both. Oh no!
Even Jesse was like, "Hey, bro, like, it's alright. Like, I could, close up and we could have the after party here, but like, you don't have to be. You could go to sleep if you want." And I was just like, "Nah, dude. Like, I want to be. I gotta be here. I can't just be sitting in my room." I was like, "Fuck."
Well, the keg flew and there was nothing left.
It was done.
It was done. Like that shit got tapped out quick.
Oh, wow, that's good.
The only thing that was left over was the beer from Abstination.
Absolutely.
Abstination.
Also known as Absolution.
Yeah. Which that should be the next beer, Abstination. Absolution presents Abstination Lager.
Damn.
There
you go. You're welcome.
You're welcome.
And your face is right on it.
There you go. And then the whatever dude from LA brought. And then the Louis Liquor stuff. Then we had three coolers left of beers. Like that was enough for like at least an hour, probably of partying, probably.
I don't know.
Because I finished my whiskey. I would have just stopped buying out whiskey.
Yeah.
Because I was even surprised I took down a whole bottle of Jack. I didn't think I was. I was like, literally, my whole routine was I'm not gonna try to get drunk, and I did get drunk. And I ate a bunch of tacos too.
It was funny though, because you were like, at one point you were like, "All right, this is my last one." It was like about maybe 45 minutes before we were on. He's like, "All right, this is my last one." And then like 10 minutes later, you come back and you're like, and in my head I was like, "Motherfucker, I thought you said."
I was nervous.
But then at the same time I was like, "Hey, bro, you got to do what you got to do. Like, I'm not fucking here to knock anybody." So I was like, "Fuck it, do what you got to do." And then it was funny because as soon as you would leave, somebody, I'm not gonna fucking rat people out, somebody would come in, like a few people, it wasn't just one, would get your Jack, or it was a Jack?
Mm-hmm.
Get your Jack and be like, "Fuck, dude, I need something real quick. I'm getting nervous," or "I'm nervous," or this, like, and they were just like, whew, throwing it back. And then you would come back and you're like, "Are you drinking my Jack Daniels?" I was like, "Yeah,"
because I felt that motherfucker. I know that I gave some to Edgar Avizo, but I know he wasn't sneaking backstage.
Yeah. I was like, "Yeah, Dick, I'm sitting here fucking sick out of my ass."
Hey, only people that I could think of is Isak or Jose.
I'm not naming names.
I'm
not naming names.
It's either one of those two guys. They wanted to.
It was obviously people that were performing.
Mr. Lou, no, because there was no way Mr. Lou was nervous.
Yeah, it was funny.
Because he got I wet his beak before he went up stage. I go, here, there's a little bit here.
Yeah, but it was funny, dude. Just seeing like it was like they were waiting for you to leave, because like you would go, and then they would come.
Because I would do my rounds. I was like,
Yeah.
to talk to everybody.
And then they would come in, and they're like, "Fucking," and then just shot, boom. I'm like, "All right."
I'm trying to figure that. It wasn't. I know it wasn't Gil.
It was funny. It was.
You have to tell me after the show. Now
Oh.
I gotta know for sure.
Hey, snitches get stitches, dude. I can't be.
I'm not gonna
ratting
rat
people
them out unless I get drunk on the show and be like, "This fucking guy took my shit." Now I know to protect my whiskey now. Now I don't give a fuck. I'm glad because now I feel better because now I can go with my wife. I didn't finish the whole bottle of whiskey. I had help.
Yeah.
Because I literally was like,
I wanted to tell you that because I didn't want you to get in your head like, "Oh fuck, I just finished the whole bottle." I wanted to let you know, like, hey, it's not just you.
Because I know I gave some to Dead Malt, your brother. Because everybody was like, "Oh yeah, I'm gonna call it." And I even told him grab some, dude. Like if you see it lying around, just grab some. Don't some trip.
Oh, I didn't even see him grabbing it.
Because I even told him I don't want to get too fucked up.
Mm-hmm.
Grab some. And then Edgar Vizo's like, "Hey, do you mind giving me some?" Because I'm not really a beer drinker. I'm like, "All right, cool." I gave him a little bit of some. I gave some to Mr. Lou. Just I think it was like two cups, and that was it. And the rest, I just had it in the agreement with you because I felt that would be the safest fucking place to have it at.
It was, but
apparently not because he never took care of it. Cause like, hey, that is the cult leader shit.
I didn't know. I was like,
it was not the charity whiskey, dude.
I didn't know.
It wasn't the community whiskey. It wasn't the community whiskey.
I didn't know. I was like, maybe because in my head I was like, oh, maybe this food fucking.
Hey, the funny thing is, I was stuck between what whiskey to bring. I go, should I bring Jack, or should I go being a special occasion? Should I go buy Johnny Walker Blue?
Ooh.
I'm glad I didn't go buy Johnny Walker Blue because it would have been the community fucking Walker.
Oh, everybody was like,
no, fuck that. I'm glad now. Now for the next event, I'm just gonna bring Jim Beam. I'm gonna bring Jameson. Or just Conor McGregor whiskey. I'm gonna bring the
proper 12.
Which is not bad. That's what I usually use for Woody Fight Club, anyways.
It's not bad. I've had it once. It does a job.
Hell yeah, it does. I fucking love it.
I was at a wedding this weekend. Shout out Bravo, or the Bravos now, Mr. and Mrs. Bravo. They had open bar.
Ooh.
And I was just like, I don't know what to drink. I was like, whatever I drink, whatever my first drink is going to be,
Has to be it.
it's going to be that for the whole night. I was like, you know what? I'm not fucking 21 anymore. I'm not going to be, I'm going to take some vodka, then some tequila, then some whiskey, then give me a Jaeger bomb. Nah, fuck that. I was like, I'm going to be a proper adult
You just stick to one.
and stick to one thing.
Mm-hmm.
So I was like, you know what the fuck am I feeling? I was just like, you know what? I'm not going to be all fancy. I'm like, Jameson ginger ale. I was like, I could probably drink that all fucking night and not be like just annoyed by it. Because there's some drinks where you're like, fuck, I already had 2 of those. I don't want it. I stuck with Jameson ginger ale the whole night.
It's a refreshing drink.
It was good, yeah. It was definitely a refreshing drink. And I could just either sip on it, I could chug it. It doesn't matter. I'm going to be fine. And sure enough, stuck with it the whole night. The next day,
Nothing.
I didn't feel shit.
It's really refreshing. I
didn't feel shit.
I wouldn't order the ginger ale to be like, hey, just put some ice in
Just
it.
Jameson, yeah.
I've had it with the ginger ale. It's very refreshing.
Yeah,
That's what
the way I told him, I was like, just James ginger ale, just a splash of ginger ale. So it wasn't like overpowering. It was just like,
but it's enough to where like it's still.
Yeah.
Well, that's what I'm gonna have this weekend. 'Cause now I told you off air, I'm in that little contest to lose all the weight with some coworkers, and I can't drink beer, carbs.
Uh-huh.
So I gotta go back to either drink whiskey, but I'm throwing a little barbecue at my house.
Uh-huh.
So I was like, fuck, I can't drink beer, and I can't just drink whiskey all night.
Just Jameson. Well, you could do like Coke Zero. Jameson and Coke Zero. I've never had that. I don't know.
You know what the thing is? I feel it's a sin as a whiskey drinker to mix it with anything.
Yeah.
But I don't want to be just put a bunch of ice and just whiskey and like.
Maybe like I'm saying, like a splash of ginger ale or like the diet ginger ale, just a splash.
So I'm gonna go to gin and tonic.
Oh, okay.
Like that shit. It's nice and refreshing.
Throw a little lime in there. Just squeeze it. You're good.
So I'm gonna go buy some diet tonic.
Yeah, it's diet tonic. I remember I didn't realize how much like how many carbs and all that shit was in there, like the regular tonic water.
Yeah, it's a lot. It's almost 124.
I was like, what in the fuck? This is worse than drinking a Coke. I was like, Jesus Christ.
Coke still got 150. So like this was like a little bit more than that.
I was like, what in the fuck is this? Like,
yeah, I was looking into it and I'm like, what the fuck?
In my head, I always assumed I was like, tonic water? I was like, can't be that bad.
It's bad.
Until I actually looked at it, I was like, Jesus Christ, what have I been drinking? I've been drinking vodka tonics my whole fucking... Yeah. But now it's definitely diet
really?
tonic water.
So yeah, I'll either do that or just buy a bag of ice and just like throw a bunch of ice in the cup and just fill me up with some whiskey all night.
You can never go wrong with that. I'm finally realizing, obviously the older you get, you realize like, alcohol or like stuff like that, like stronger stuff isn't meant to be like shot.
No,
like
fuck
that's
no.
not a thing. It's meant to sip. Like even there's tequilas that are sipping tequilas that you put on ice, sip on it. It's amazing.
That's what I'm trying. That's what I'm trying to get into now.
It's amazing. Like some of these sipping tequilas are fucking so good. Same thing with whiskeys. Like they're just so good. And then I guess when we're younger, like 21, whatever, we're just wrapped up in like, let's get fucked up as fast as we can. So we take shots.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, I thought the same thing too. So I was talking to somebody and they were like, "Oh yeah, tequila's not supposed to be shot; it's supposed to be sipped." Like he goes, "You're a whiskey drinker, right?" I'm like, yeah, same premise. I'm like, no,
it's
shit.
the same exact thing.
And he was telling me he brought a couple bottles of whiskey. I mean, tequila, and he poured one, and I just sip it, and we smelled it. Did the whole fucking thing we do, and the next day I thought, because I hate tequila, because again, I got so used to just shooting him down. I was like when I was younger, so I was like, fuck, I'm gonna wake up so fucked up. Even my wife goes, "You're gonna wake fucked up." I'm like, yeah, probably. Woke up like cool as a cucumber.
Fuck yeah.
I was like, damn.
There you go.
So I was like, okay, cool. So I'm trying to train my body to get into some tequila because we're taking a trip to Mexico to some resort.
Oh, nice.
And so I was like, you know what? I want to drink some of that. And now thinking about it, I probably could do that this Saturday. Just buy a nice bottle of tequila, some ice, some limes.
You sip on it.
And just sip it all night.
Yeah, tequila with lime is always nice.
Just fucking grilling and just sipping in it. Do it like that.
I had remember I forgot what tequila it was. It was a really good tequila. Got the lime, even splashed a little salt in there. I was just like, oh shit. I was like, this is different. And I was like, with the salt, I was like, oh, it's not bad.
Yeah, I'm about to get to that then. I'm gonna go shoot myself a nice bottle. Just to be cheap, I'll buy the Rocks tequila.
Termana.
Yeah, I'm about to do that. That was not bad. It was pretty smooth.
I haven't had that in a while.
I think the last time I had it, I had like a little house party. Someone brought it.
I want to say it was maybe like right after the pandemic. I can't remember. It was somewhere in between. I think it was in the middle. I can't remember.
First of all, when were you drinking during the pandemic?
Dude, I remember
What the fuck? What were we drinking?
we would have Zoom parties or whatever, those Zoom things.
Oh my god!
I'd be sitting right here at the pool table, getting so fucked up. I remember I would go to the dispensary. I'd buy a bag of of joints, and as soon as I would sit down for the Zoom little party or whatever, I dumped all the joints out of the bag, and they would just sit here, right on the fucking pool table. I'd have an ashtray right here, the whole night just smoking. Put the ashtray, boom, and then drinking.
Jesus.
Oh, it was a blast. It was a blast.
Fuck no.
But now, if I did that today, Jesus Christ.
See, because you lived, you're learning, and your body's like, no, fuck no, we're not doing this again.
Mm-hmm.
Can't go this again. Fuck no. You would think I would learn, but I just made proper adjustments to keep going.
I just trained my body to not be a bitch.
Especially for Fridays. Well, that's why I cut drinking. I don't drink on Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. At Friday, I'll drink. Saturday, depending on events, I'll drink. And then Sunday, I go back to being sober again.
The only time I drink is usually now is when I do a podcast.
Really?
So like right now, drinking during a podcast, I probably won't have another drink unless I go out this weekend, like hang out at a party or go to a bar or something. No.
You won't drink?
I very rarely drink like at my house, unless there's people over.
Yeah.
Other than that, I'm just water. There's like a fucking tea or something. I'll drink that.
Same here. Like the Saturday, I only drank as a Woody Fight Club. But Sunday, I didn't drink for shit. But the prior weekend to that, I wasn't even drinking.
How did the Fight Club go? How was the main fight?
The main fight was
Lomachenko and
great.
I'm drawing a blank. Haney.
Yeah, Devin Haney.
Yeah,
I think it was great. I think you had two high class fighters fighting on a high class level, and I mean, the fight could go either way. The thing is, there are fights that can go either way. Like it doesn't have. I know there's like, people judge with their eyes, but like I've said it before. So again, there's like 98% of people that don't know how to score a fucking fight to save their lives.
A lot of people just are like, oh, like he looks fucked up.
Yeah.
He's losing.
Like there's clean, effective punching, ring generalship, defense. There's a lot of things that go into this stuff.
And people forget it's scored round by round.
And then you know what's killed boxing is the commentators putting this stupid comping box number stats.
Score, yeah.
And the only reason they're putting stats up because we as a society in sports
we need to
stats.
See, yes, because football, baseball, basketball, as you're watching who's winning and why. And
see, the thing is, people are not aware that the judges do not get compy box. They don't see it. They don't get the numbers. Mm-hmm. They're just going the old school mentality. I am the fight.
Watching the fight.
Yeah. They don't get it like a text message going, oh, well, so-and-so landed X amount of punches.
Yeah. X amount of power punches, X amount of this, or body shots, or shots to the head. Or yeah, that's
They don't
true.
see it. But because boxing, this happened since like maybe the mid-90s that they started adding copy box. 90s, I'm sorry. In the 90s, started adding copy box because, again, the trend is you got to add stats because you have stats in baseball, stats in NBA, NFL, even for fucking golf you got it, and everything you got stats.
You know who's winning, no matter what time or whatever. You know who's winning.
Yeah. So boxing has that, and I think that's what's fucked up boxing fans to think, oh, I'm a judge. Like, no, you're not, bro. You're judging. First of all, you're drinking. Yeah. Or you're high, or you're whatever. Yeah, it is. You're judging a fight based on that. Mm-hmm. But you don't know the rules of judging. Like, I mean, B-Ray. My co-host, he was scoring the fight, but he was high as fuck scoring the fight. And I was a little tipsy, and I was watching out for my other co-host, Carnitas King, making sure he didn't say nothing stupid on the air. So I had B-Ray score the fight, and every 3 rounds, we're like, when we did the whole Harold Letterman, we're like, all right, B-Ray, what do you have it now? 3, and he would do the whole thing, like, I got this amount rounds for Haney and this amount for Loma, and he'd give his explanation. And so the next day, he was like, hey, I kind of want to rewatch it. I'm like, why? Because I was high. Yeah. And I'm like, okay, fuck, let's rewatch it then. And I didn't get to because I had to go out. He saw it again, and so I just barely spoke to him today when I got home, and he's like, hey, I saw it again. I'm like, what? I have the fight closer than the fucking than the first time.
Wow. It was a close fight.
And he goes, and I go, for who? And he goes, you're going to have to wait until we do the episodes. I can tell you who I have it for. He goes, oh, you should watch it now, too. So I'm like, all right, yeah. So today, the next couple of days before I record the boxing, I'm going to have to do my film study, and I got to judge the fight. but I gotta be unbiased because it's kind of like I already spoiled it. I already know who the winner is.
Mm-hmm.
I already read the articles of everyone's opinion about this fight, so I have to go into this fight. And I usually watch.
Yeah.
I rewatch fights muted. I don't hear nobody. I just watch it and I score it.
Really?
So I'll be like, usually like if I'm doing something for a podcast, I'll just like have the TV on like right here, mute it, and I'm just like working on something real quick, and I'm just watching the fight, and I'll just note it on my phone. All right, you know what? I got this round for this one, and I'll put like little keynotes of why I have it for this guy. And so Thursday when we do the episode, but we'll get our sober opinion of the fight.
I remember there was only one time I actually did that, which was like score a fight as the fight was going on, and it was the Canelo Triple G fight.
Which one, the first, second, third?
The very first one, when
Okay.
it was a draw.
Yeah.
And I remember after the fight was over, everyone was like, "Oh, Canelo won. Triple G won." And it was funny because that night I really didn't drink, I didn't smoke anything, and I'm looking at like because I remember I had an app, so I'm like, all right, I had that, and then 12 rounds over, and I'm like, I have it as a draw. And I remember I posted it. Just so I was like, I don't know, I'm just gonna post it. I was like, I put it on. I think it was my personal Instagram. I was like, I have it as a draw. That's fucking weird. I was like, nah, that's not it. And then sure enough, I was like, what the fuck? Like, did I just? I don't know. So I've only done it once, and then obviously like all the other fights, I kind of do it like just in my head, but not. Usually I'm always drinking or smoking or something. So it's true. Like you have to rewatch it. Are you a fan of the idea of live scoring a fight?
I think it ruins a fight.
You wouldn't want the fighter to know if he's winning or losing.
I think it ruins a person's the way they fight.
Of course it does.
I think it ruins the whole game plan. It ruins the
Of course it does. But if you go into the second half of the fight knowing,
then it becomes boring. Then all I gotta do is now run from you. Not run. I'm sorry. I feel that's run. All I gotta do is move around away from you. Make sure you don't catch me.
And guess what that guy's gonna do? He is gonna hopefully
chase
as a legit professional boxer, he's gonna try his best to cut the angles and cut the ring off.
Not all the time. A lot of these guys are mentally broken. A lot of these guys are. I think if you were to go in there, you gotta imagine, Chris. These guys are training for 8 to 10 weeks.
Yes.
Some of them are doing extreme weight cutting.
Exactly.
And you go into a fight, and you think you're winning, and you got the corner lying to you, and then nowhere, the commission tells the guy, "Hey, you guys down like 5 rounds, 6 rounds already to none."
It's very
what
devastating.
Is that guy? Yeah, so you're like, "Fuck, then what's the point? Fuck this. I'm gonna the check clear. Fuck it. Then I'll just follow him. I'll take least punishment. I already got paid." Because of that, it kills the whole thing. But if the guy keeps thinking, "Oh, I'm winning. Oh fuck, I'm gonna keep winning." If they tell me, "Hey, you're like 2 rounds away from probably getting this. I gotta attack him." He's gonna go at him because nobody knows anything. But
I guess
you get what I'm trying to say.
Yes,
yeah.
but my head immediately goes to the not quitting, not having any quit.
But they're quitters.
Though.
Quitters.
There are plenty of fighters that without a doubt. Some might say the Tank versus Garcia. But some might say
that was quit.
He quit.
That was quit. You know what? He didn't quit because of the shot. I think he quit knowing if I get up, I got nothing to offer this guy. This guy's gonna run over me, and
it's gonna be bad for the brand.
I'd rather go out like this than go out on my fucking face, my face busted up, beat up,
or fucking ice cold knocked out.
I'd rather go like that. But I think you'd rather go out a nice cold knockout because you went out fighting.
No, but for him in his head, if I get fucking knocked out, I'm gonna become a meme. I'm gonna become the post on Instagram and TikTok and Twitter.
He's thinking as a social media guy, not as a fighter.
That's the fucked up part.
Yeah, that's the fucked up part. Yeah, right.
So he's thinking, my brand. All these companies, the first thing they're gonna think of is my fucking face planted on the floor, or my head fucking my eyes rolled behind my head, whatever. He's thinking that.
No, yeah, he is.
What's crazy is a lot of fighters. People think like, oh, they're doing this because they love it. That they're doing it because some of these guys, this is all they could do.
Yeah, that's all they know.
That's all they know how to do. They've been fighting their entire life. Some guys don't even know how to fucking read. Yeah. All they know how to do is fight.
Yeah.
And and the only reason why they're doing it is for the money. A lot of them. A lot of guys. And then obviously you have some fighters who are just like super prideful and super like they've been groomed as a child, like you fucking die on the in the ring. But the majority are the ones that are just like, hey man, I'm here for the money, dude. Like this fucking money, this check is fat. That's all I'm doing it for.
That's Frank Garcia. Frank Garcia is a guy who got brought up as boxing, but I don't think he likes boxing. I think.
This guy's gonna be retired way sooner than a lot of these guys. I cannot see him fighting into his late 30s.
I don't think so.
No way.
I think he takes another loss or another hard fight. He retires. I don't think he stays in.
Yeah, he's gonna go straight into movies or acting or something.
The thing with him is when you have 1 foot in, 1 foot out the sport,
you're done.
You're done. And that kid
at 26 years old, this guy's already 1 foot in, 1 foot out.
You have an option now.
Yeah.
Tank doesn't. Tank knows like what else am I gonna do? I don't know how to do shit.
Yeah.
Besides just hurt people with his hands. That's it.
The one thing he might get is a cameo in a fucking John Wick movie or something.
That's it. I mean, really?
Yeah. That's not going to pay the bills.
And Tank's not the most vocal person, so it's not like he could be Mike Tyson and have a podcast.
Hey, some people, yeah.
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying. He can't. He's not that vocal. He's not.
Exactly.
Was he just going to be there like, yeah.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, that's it. Like, what the fuck? Mike at least kind of like articulates shit in the most funniest way ever, but he articulates it.
Yeah, he's all fucking mushroomed out, and he's saying the most random ass weird shit.
But, Tank, a guy like Tank can't afford to lose. Because that's his money train. A guy like Ryan can't afford it.
Oh yeah, he could step away right now and still have 3-4 different options, different careers.
Yeah, that's what it is.
Yeah,
and that's what happened. But going back to open scoring, fuck no. I think it kills the sport. The sport's already taking a black eye right now for the last 2 weeks. Taking a black eye.
Really?
Well, the Devin Haney thing. You got all these people going complaining robbery.
Yeah, a lot of people think Lomachenko won.
The week before that, there was a fight in Las Vegas between Roland Romero and I forgot the other guy's name. It was a 40-year-old top contender. Wow. 40 years old.
Fuck.
He looked 50 in his face, but he looked 40 years old.
Oh, I know what you're talking about.
Put down the young Rolly Romero in the second round. Hit him hard. Put him down. Rolly got back up. They fought. In the 11th round, it's a tight, close fight. The fight could be going towards the 40-year-old. Rolly and the guy started exchanging punches. Rolly lands like 3-4 unanswered punches, but it doesn't phase the old man.
Yeah.
The referee steps in and waves the fight off. You're taking away the victory from a 40-year-old man.
And sure enough, the fucking cards, the numbers, he was winning.
The old man would have been winning the fight.
Oh, my God.
So, again, you had that happen a week before this fight, the Haney fight. What sucks about it is that, I can see Haney winning, and I can see Loma winning. Mm-hmm. What sucks is these large scorecards of 160, 112, like,
I don't understand those.
How the fuck are you telling me you gave 8 rounds of, like, you telling me that Haney won 8 consecutive rounds out of this whole fight? I could see a 115, 113, which is like 6. I can see that. I can see that happening, but not 8 rounds. Like, no, like, you tarnish the sport by doing that. So now it's had Nevada has had 2 weeks in a row having tarnished the sport of boxing.
And what's crazy is that the more the UFC is starting to become the global phenomenon that it is, I feel like you're starting to see that more now too, with like guys getting robbed, like with some of the fights, not as of late, but like some of these fights that are happening, especially with some of these younger guys that they're trying to, mold, and they're actually taking the idea of boxing where it's like, hey, we want to build this guy up. We don't want him to get a big fight yet. We're going to build him up, and then once he's ready, as opposed to 10 years ago, oh, this guy is fucking amazing, championship, or fucking contender, or like number 1 fighter, number 2 fighter. You're starting to see like, whoa, like, fucking kid, this kid lost. Magically he wins. So it's like that debate or that argument is going to be there with fighting in general. Well, it's always going to be there.
But with MMA, you got to look. If you look at the history of MMA,
that was even tougher to fucking.
It is tough, but you know why though, right?
What do you mean?
The reason why MMA is so hard to judge is because they use the criteria of boxing.
Yes.
Because a lot of people forget MMA was outlawed in a lot of states. Like a lot of early MMA was done in Indian casinos.
They let it back in New York like maybe 3-4 years ago.
Conor was the first guy. Like it was like maybe.
Wait, I think it might have been right before the pandemic. They let it back in.
I think this was like 2016. 2016 was the first. 2016.
UFC, right? Yeah, they let it back in. Before that, it was banned.
Mm-hmm. It was banned.
That was crazy.
So they use the boxing criteria to make these rules, and then there's these odd rules because I forgot the guy's name. He's one of the famous UFC refs.
Herb Dean?
No, the guy goes, "Let's get it on!" Like that. He goes, "Let's fight," or whatever the fuck.
Oh yeah.
He has his podcast with his other MMA fighter.
Big
John McCartney. McCarthy.
Yes, big
Him. He said that because he was part of a team of guys that were trying to set up the rules, and when they brought it to politicians, they're like, "Oh no, you can't punch down." Well, what do you mean? He goes, "Haven't you seen those karate movies where they break the brick? They'll break a guy's skull."
Oh,
So
yeah.
certain rules are based on movies.
Fucking fake ass, stupid ass movies.
Yeah, he says a lot of the key rules of MMA is brought from boxing, and the other half is brought from the myth of like shit that happened in karate movies that they saw Chuck Norris do, or fucking Wesley Snipes do, or Van Damme did in Bloodsport,
or Bruce Lee or something.
Yeah, so a lot of those rules were like, it's a movie. No, that's
that could happen.
That could happen. Like you could kill a man.
Punching down.
Or
Right.
I think you can't kick, or there's a certain kick. I think there's like a certain kick, for a certain degree you can do a kick at. That's considered illegal.
Yeah. You can, or you can't even. I think you can't punch it down. Like you can't even like hammer, like a hammer fist.
Yeah,
down, or something.
There's like a certain angle you can. It's disqualified. That's what John Jones got disqualified for.
Yeah,
that was
the one loss that he had
because he did something that technically is considered an illegal blow, but it's not. And in a real fight, he's not gonna kill him.
I don't even. I think the one rule that I might agree with is the whole kicking when a guy has. It's like the 3 points of contact.
Yeah.
So it's like hand on the mat, and then like.
Isn't it like two hands on the mat?
Well, it's 3 points of contact. So it's like it's either you both feet are on the floor and one hand is on the mat. You can't kick.
But you can punch though.
You can punch. Fuck out.
Why can't you kick?
Because their thought process is like you're gonna fucking punt his head right off or something. Like I don't know, but that's that.
But you get the rules, already.
Yeah. But a lot of guys they'll manipulate the rule. They'll fucking bend over and they'll have one hand on the mat, so they know I'm not gonna get kicked. I just gotta worry about these fucking hands.
But you know that the rules are only apply here in this country.
That's wild, right?
Because if you go to Japan, or
they have a different set.
Yeah, because that's what happened to Mighty Bears. That's how he lost.
Yeah, I do remember that. He was fighting for a different
one
company.
Championship. And he lost.
I do remember that. I remember seeing that. I forgot what the fuck he did. Oh, you can't kick at all. I think it was.
I think you can't spin him or something and then fucking shoot the kick on the other side. I forgot what it was, but it's illegal here, but legal over there.
Yeah,
but he didn't die though.
I do. Yeah,
he didn't die though, right?
Yeah, I do remember that.
So that's kind of again the whole premise of like. So when I hear like people talk about the scoring of MMA, like you gotta imagine
it's hard.
It's hard as fucking hard. I've been barely getting into it for the last 3 years, and I try not to score it. I still use the boxing criteria, like okay, effective aggression, ring generalship, and then octagon control. So I kind of use it as octagon control as ring generalship. So that's how me and my brother been scoring it because I've been trying to get him into it because now we're trying to implement MMA stuff into our podcast soon enough. Yeah. But we don't want to sound like fucking idiots talking about it. So that's why we haven't done it. But we've been watching a little bit. I'm like, oh shit! Like, okay, cool.
It's rough to score because
it is.
Not only that, but you have like, takedowns, and it seems like in some of these states, like some of these refs, like I don't give a fuck, you took somebody down, so what? And then in other states, it's like, oh, he took him down. That's a fucking big point right there.
Well,
like,
imagine these guys are like boxing judges. They're told, hey, were you free Saturday?
Yeah.
For what?
Yeah, we're doing MMA. What's that?
I don't know what that is.
Was that fucking karate shit?
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, fuck it.
Yeah. And then
but if you want to watch purity, you should watch bare knuckle fighting.
Oh my god!
I've been watching it 2 Fridays in a row.
That is insane. I remember watching it the moment the league came out. Like the first month, I was all about it, watching it, and I was speechless. I was seeing.
I love it.
The amount of blood in that fucking sport is ridiculous. And then I forgot if she used to be a UFC fighter.
Paige Van Zandt.
Yes,
I saw that.
Oh my god, dude! Red face. It was a red face. It was unbelievable.
That's the purest fight of box. That's the purest.
Just your hands. You tape them. That's as much as you can do.
Taping your wrist.
Yeah, you could just tape your. That's as much as you get.
That's
bare knuckle fighting.
Love it. We've been watching 2 Fridays in a row now. They've had events in some Indian casino. So me and Escalante, before we do a Rambo pregame, he's like, hey, is there any bare knuckle boxing? And I go, yeah, there actually is. Let me put the fire stick on. And we're watching it. And we're like,
fucking scary, dude.
And then Gary shows up and he goes, fuck yeah, some real shit now.
Dude, that shit's insane.
And then Mr. Luke can't watch it because I'm like, dude, you've been into combat sports longer than me because you're the oldest one in the group. And he can't watch it. He's squeamish about it. He's like, oh, I don't know about that. Oh, God, no. And he's like, oh.
See, that's hard to judge because, like.
There isn't. Just fucking let him go at it.
Yeah, but this guy's fucking gushing blood and you think like, oh, yeah, he's done. He's done. And then they still keep going. They still keep going. They still keep going. You're like, dude, they got to stop this fucking fight. He's losing all the blood.
Fuck no.
Yeah.
The thing is, you can't use traditional boxing. Like, I saw some guy try to use traditional boxing skills.
It ain't gonna work.
It ain't gonna work. You got it. Like, it's berserker shit right there.
Yeah.
You can't even be Floyd Mayweather fighting in that arena.
Yeah, who
You
was
can't
it?
be defensive.
Paul. I think it was Paul Malignaggi. He fucking broke his hand. Like the first punch. First punch broke his hand.
Yeah. Well, he's
He was known for brittle hands,
Yeah,
so
he
it's
has.
like that was the biggest thing going into the fight. Are his hands gonna hold up? Or his hands first round, poof, broken hand.
Yeah,
it's crazy. How's the podcast been going? Because I know I haven't been on in a while, but I've been. I don't know. I like the last few months or so. I kind of not really been on Instagram that much,
yeah.
so I've missed a lot. Like maybe the most I'll be on Instagram is maybe like to reply to your guys'
Or stupid chat.
yeah. Or out of just pure entertainment. But yeah, how's the podcast been?
It's doing good. It's doing really good. It's fucking booming right now at the moment with Ram Alcoholics. I think people are starting to like gain. We're starting to gain momentum on.
Starting to figure you guys out.
Yeah, they're like, oh, these guys are actually funny.
Yeah,
I like it so far. Had a couple hiccups with Penny right now. Like he's going through some stuff, personal stuff. So we haven't been able to do Geek as much or Shifts as much.
Okay.
But to replace that, we took on a new partner, and that's Inside. I Need a Freak podcast.
I Need a Freak.
So they're a new podcast that just started like literally 2 weeks ago.
Okay.
And they were there live at the live event.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So
what is this? What kind of podcast is this?
So this is basically two people who are in the swingers lifestyle.
Oh.
And one of them is very uber sexual. Hasn't been intimate with a person in 3 years, but is quote on the show. She goes, she's very horny and looking for the right dick.
But hasn't had sex?
No, she
hasn't had sex in 3 years, but has been craving it for 3 years.
But she masturbates a lot.
I see. And the toys, sometimes that'll get the job
And
done.
she
right?
used to be a swinger.
Wow.
And so
Are they a couple?
No, they're just homies that actually like met at work and didn't realize they're in the lifestyle.
Then they never fucked?
I don't know. Hopefully, maybe they disclose more in the show.
Oh, okay.
Well, this is the one that gave Gary her number. Like,
okay, yes.
She's that girl. Like, this is the girl that went up, like, and go, hey, call me. And Gary still hasn't called her.
So I'm trying to think if I'm...
You might have met them, maybe like a quick hi and bye, but they were there. I think people will recognize
I think I met the girl. I saw the girl.
I think everyone saw the girl. Everyone was looking at her. Because she was wearing a kind of like a top revealing silhouette type of dress.
She went to the restroom. I think at the end of the night, I was sitting right out of the restroom.
She was wearing a black dress.
Yeah, and she like went to the restroom, and I was like half dead. She's like, make sure nobody comes in here. I was like, yeah. And I was like, I'm not going to fucking watch this restroom.
You left.
No, I sat there, but I was... and then what's funny is, like, sure enough, someone came, like, anybody in there? I was like, yeah, there's somebody in there.
There you go.
So I did my job.
So, yeah, that's new right now with the Rambling Network. So we brought them on.
And are they recording, like, once a week, one every other week?
Every week. They just recorded an episode last night. They're about to submit it to me to put on Patreon. So they're part of the network, so we put it on as an early bonus episode on Patreon.
And where can you find their podcast?
Apple and Spotify at the moment. I'm working on getting the rest on.
They have their Instagram, or
Yeah,
it comes out on your
so
or they have their own.
It comes out on their own.
Okay.
But we're the ones promoting them and putting it out there.
I see.
So it's kind of a joint venture. So they produced out and it's kind of like cross promotion between us. So they produce their stuff, we put it out there, we promote them, and vice versa. They promote our stuff on their podcast.
Okay, that's cool.
So it's been working it out. I mean, you know me, I'm not about fucking gouging people, and I'm about helping. So this is one guy that Mobbers, shout out to Mobbers.com, been showing off your girlfriend since 2000.
Showing off your girlfriend? What the fuck?
Yeah, this motherfucker would go to house parties and get bitches to like show him their tits, and he would put his stickers on. This guy was like part of the party scene back in the day. It was dope. Dope ass guy. Like I met him the first day at the event. Been talking to him for a while. And he had told me, hey, I'm thinking about doing a podcast. And I always hear the same spiel. I'm thinking about doing a podcast. I think I have good topics. I'm like, okay, man, talk to me when you have everything.
You know what's crazy? I've been hearing that a lot more lately.
Because who doesn't have a podcast, though?
I
feel like during the pandemic, it boomed up, and then it's still kind of there. But now it's like, I don't know if everyone can do a podcast.
I was at like I said, I was at a wedding this past weekend. So whenever I'm at an event or just a place, people kind of know, like, oh, you have a podcast. How's the podcast? And then that conversation comes up. It's like, I was thinking about doing a podcast. Really? Like, oh, what? And then the next one's like, about what? oh, I don't know, kind of like, you know, just whatever, kind of like how you do it. I'm like, all right, that's cool.
I mean, it's not about whatever.
I don't take offense to it. I'm like, whatever. It's I could see why people say it's about whatever.
I had someone tell me, I think I can do what you do.
Okay.
I have guys that can drink. I'm like,
That's not the whole podcast, but
like I know.
you that one I would get offended by.
I did. And I'm like, oh, great. Let me know how that goes, buddy.
It's just the name, Rami Alcoholic.
It was one of my wife's like company parties,
Yeah,
and I was wearing that. And
I got some guys that could drink.
And like, what's about it? I'm like, oh, it's just 4 guys just sitting down drinking, talk about anything that goes on. It's this, and it's more than that. But this is me summarizing it. And this guy, meathead, I think I can do that. I can do what you do. I got guys that can drink.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm like, okay, I sure you do.
Fucking go for it.
Go for it, man. Let me know how that goes.
Yeah, I'll be on. Let me know.
Yeah.
It is funny. It's not. Podcasting isn't hard. If you enjoy talking,
Yeah.
it's not that hard. The hard part is
Keeping it going.
keeping the conversation going, because there are very few people that I can actually sit with for an hour,
Yeah.
and talk without any awkward pause or awkward.
Or like looking at your phone. Like the only time I've looked at my phone because it keeps going off,
Yeah,
and I'm like, okay, because my wife told me to look for an email, so I'm like waiting for the email to come over.
Mm.
But that's about it. I've been talking to you the whole time, and you're right. It's kind of hard for me to find also people that can sit down and chat it up with.
yeah,
In a personal level, like a podcast here, yeah, like I can chat it up with Jose for hours. I can chat it up with Gil. I can chat it up with you.
yeah.
I can chat it up with Yuli, which I am, but I could do that. We're podcasters, but there's people that just can't. Like Mobbers is like, I don't know how you guys do it. I'm like, what do you mean? We did an hour and we were like, fuck.
Yeah.
I'm like, for an hour? He goes, no, we're like 20 minutes in. We're like, dude, what the fuck are we going to talk about? I'm like, 'cause how the fuck do you guys do it? And I'm like, yeah, I've been doing this since 2017, though. I don't. It's because and the thing is, prior to that, we were already doing that even before the podcast.
Mm-hmm.
We would just sit down and talk shit. So this just came natural to us to have this.
Yeah.
To me, it's mentally forgetting this is here.
Mm-hmm.
If you can forget mentally this is here, you can have these conversations. You can have Joe Rogan conversations.
Surprisingly, yeah. Right? It's funny.
If you forget this is here.
This weekend, so Jesse was the best man for the wedding.
Oh, okay.
And it was, he had to do a speech and all that.
Oh, shit.
So I was like, all right, let's see how it goes. And tell me what, I wasn't proud because he was doing a speech. Like, his speech was great. I loved his speech. I was proud that he used the mic so perfectly. I could hear every word clearly.
He knew where to put himself.
He knew, like, and the mic, it wasn't a holding mic. It was like one of these, but it was propped up. He knew to fucking stand right up on it and talk.
Yeah.
And he knew if I'm moving my head, I'm still going to keep my mouth right on the mic. So if I'm talking this way, if I'm talking that way, I'm not turning and talking like this. He was doing everything. As soon as I was like, hey, man, great speech, whatever.
I'm proud of you.
I'm proud of you, man. That fucking, using that mic was amazing. Because honestly, there was like 14 speeches. I heard Jesse. I didn't hear anyone after that. Like, everyone was like talking like this. And like you would hear like occasional like word every now and then. It was like, and I bet they were beautiful speeches. I bet they were so, like, I saw tears. I wish I would have heard. Maybe I would have had tears. But I was able to hear Jesse perfectly.
Yeah.
So even like I leaned over on Abe and I was like, fuck, this guy's using the mic so perfect right now. I was like, I might get hard. Just
you're like a proud papa watching your son.
I was like, dude, 100 or something episodes in, this guy better fucking know how to use the mic.
Seriously,
Like,
dude.
Jesus
Oh my
Christ.
God.
I would have been so upset. I would have been
too. I would
have been like, how many fucking podcasts have you done? You don't know how to use the damn mic? Like, I would have been very upset.
That's almost like Escalante. Like, he doesn't know how to use the mic still to this day. But he's more verbal about his stuff now, where before he was very like.
It honestly is fun to see like the growth in not only just like you guys, but just the people that we know that have been doing podcasts. Because when we all started, it wasn't great.
Fuck no.
Like, I'm trying to think, like, whether it be like the quality of the audio or whether it be just like the conversations that were being had or whatever, just whatever. Like, all of us started and it was okay. Like, we were doing it.
Yeah.
But how much everyone has grown and gotten so much better whether it just be talking into the mic.
Mm-hmm.
So some of us, we were starting all the way back here.
Yeah,
thinking
I
like,
remember.
oh, they can fucking hear me. When in reality, you got to be right up in there.
Yeah.
And like being able to move around and know that you're moving here, you're talking like here. I'm moving anywhere I want, but I got to keep the mic right in front of me.
Yeah.
Like just little things like that. And then now, like on top of that, thinking of like the types of conversations people are having now, like the types of people that they're interviewing, or the type of people that they're getting on, or all this different, like doing a live event. Like it's crazy to see, like everyone's kind of little by little
Everyone's stepping up.
Yeah, like everyone's really stepping up. And it's noticeable when someone wants to start a podcast.
Yeah.
Because they're just like, where do I start? And I was like, fuck, dude, I was there. I don't remember. Fuck.
Well, like I'm saying, like with Mobbers, he was like, I heard their first episode, and I go, hey, you need to like speak up more into the mic and be more interactive. It's gonna be a tag team, or but what do you think? No, we're gonna be back and forth. I'm like, well, you need to interact, because she carried the first 20 minutes of you.
Yeah.
You're just right there going, yeah.
Uh-huh.
And he's like, because I'm working on the boards. Dude, I work on the boards, and I gotta run the ship with these guys.
But you gotta know the settings already, that you're like, okay, I have it set. I don't gotta look at it.
Yeah. And he was like, all right, cool. So the second one he improved it, and I'm like, hey, you did good. I didn't think talk like him. No, you knew when to fucking speak, and you knew when to let her go at it.
Uh-huh.
And she went on like on a fucking sex rant. And I go, no, you were good. You didn't interrupt her. Let her. And this third one, he says he did a little bit better. So I'll hear it. But I keep telling him this, and like, do this, do that. You know, like, and I told him this might sound like I'm being a dick. It just, this is what I see going on. And, you know, you got to look at it through a listener's point of view, not as, you know.
Uh-huh.
But if you're like, oh, I think I'm doing enough, like, no, you're not. Like, if you're gonna be a producer, then be the producer behind the scenes and let her talk.
Go.
But if you're gonna want to interact and you want to go back you have to be in front of the fucking mic. You gotta have to learn where the fuck you're doing. Engage it. If not, then
you gotta multitask if that's gonna be your job. That's what you want to do.
In this last one, they said, yeah, he did it, but they got a little too drunk, and they said they took a ramble.
Okay.
And I'm like, how fucked up did you guys? Oh, we got pretty fucked up. And I'm like, did you fuck up an episode? He goes, no. Well, I mean, yeah, but we did. I mean, no, and yeah. And I'm like, will you listen to it and tell me? I'm like, all right. So I'm waiting for the email for that one too, because then then he'll have me listen to it like a little pass through. I'm like, oh, you know what? Cut this off then, or you know, smooth it out here.
And
I like it though. I actually do like this doing stuff like that.
Have you noticed when you're not do you hang out with like Escaleto and Shalu, like even when you're not podcasting? Mm-hmm. Have you noticed from the moment you guys started podcasting to now, just the difference in how you guys talk when you guys are just hanging out?
Me and Escaleto are still the same. We'll still fuck around. Miss Shalu's tamer. It's funny because we hung out 2 weeks ago. Mm-hmm. My uncle's like, hey, I'm making some ceviche, and your cousin's husband's making pozole. Come through. All right, what do we want to bring? Bring some beer. All right, fuck it. I brought some beer. We get there. Mr. Lou's already there having his first bottle of wine. Escaleto's in. And I ended up buying Modelo Negro, and I made some mixtas.
Ooh.
Fucking best. So we're doing it. We're eating. We're chilling around. And then Gary's like, hey, I'm showing up. Fuck it. Roll out through.
Yeah.
And it's just a roast fest.
Uh-huh.
And then my wife's like, Jesus, didn't you guys get enough of this the night before?
Yeah.
And it's just going, all four of us are going back and forth. And then my uncle's diming in. And, you know, my cousin's husband's diming in. So it's just a roast fest. Everyone's just going. And then Mr. Lou goes, damn, I wish this would have been an episode. Like, I have a Yeti microphone in my fucking car.
Just saying.
Everybody's like, no.
Yeah.
Get out.
Oh, yeah. Every time the guys and I hang out.
Yeah.
Every time in my head, I'm just like, this is a waste. What a waste. What a waste. Even, it's funny because now, like, even we'll watch the Laker games, and even Louis will be like, hey, I mean, you can turn the mics on if you want. Like, I was like, there we go. Now we're.
Have you?
We did it once this playoffs.
Okay.
It was Louis, Abe, and myself, and it was fun. It started to pick up more. Like, you noticed that we were watching the game more in the second half because it was close, and you honestly got a real look at how we are when we're watching the game. Like, we're like, fucking son of a bitch, dude. Like, what the fuck are you doing, LeBron, or this or that? Like, Abe would be like, how come they're not doing this, or how come they don't do that? Like right at the end of that fourth quarter is when you got the real version of like what we're doing. It's funny. It was funny. But what made me notice a lot about it was like I'm telling you, during that wedding, like we're meeting some people that we haven't seen since high school,
Mm-hmm.
or we're talking to people we haven't talked to in a while, and they know that we do a podcast or whatever, and we're saying stories that all of us were involved in. But this person is getting a private live show of the Kickback. It's hilarious because all four of us know when to chime in. So we're talking about one story, and then Abe's going, and then fucking Jesse picks up the baton, and then he's going. Then I get the baton, then I'm talking and explaining the story, and this person is just getting overwhelmed with just laughter and dying laughing, and then Louis comes in.
They said they're getting exclusive.
Yeah, like, and in my back of my head, I'm like, you're getting a private Kickback episode right now in front of your face. And it like, I legit, like, took a step back. I was like, dude, we would have never been able to have 4 people explaining the same story. It would have to just be, all right, you tell them the story. As opposed to, like, this happened. Oh, and then I came in and this, blah, blah, blah. I was like, fuck, dude. Like, in the back of my head, I was like, God damn it, man. We're not doing a live show. These motherfuckers don't want to do one.
They should. I think you should surprise them and just actually do a live show.
I don't know.
I'm surprised that, like I said, I know Mr. Lou's down. Escalante's the one who's like, yeah, let's fucking do it. And I'm like, Gary's like, I guess so. I'll do it.
Yeah.
I'm like, all right, cool.
How is it now having the 4th guy?
We needed it.
Really?
I for a while, I remember I kept saying, 3.
Uh-huh.
I figured that 3 is the best. And then with this, and Escaleto had some stuff going on a personal level, and we're like, fuck, we need to have someone. Gary stepped in, and we kept Gary. And then when Escaleto was like, hey, I'm back. And we're like, we can't get Gary on now. Like, Gary's actually been a staple of this show now for a while. Mm-hmm. And that's when we offered him. And it's funny because we say ever since we kept Gary, we've noticed the numbers just soar up.
Damn.
And we're like, okay, we got to keep him. And people like him. People enjoy him. They feel bad for him. They make fun of him.
Yeah.
So it's kind of like,
they love him, they hate him, everything.
So we kept him, and
having 4 is nice because let's say one guy can't show up, you still have 3 guys.
Like last week, Gary had food poisoning, so we just so it was an OG episode, just us 3.
Yeah, like when you have 4, it's awesome, especially the 4 people that know how to talk with each other, because they won't, have those people are over talking or talking over each other.
Oh, you mean my show?
No, I don't think not anymore. You guys kind of like it happens occasionally, but you guys know.
I think it happens a lot.
Now,
that's
now again with the 4th guy.
Yeah, I noticed it when you and Fidel showed up. I was like, I kind of noticed like, yeah, I feel bad for inviting both of you guys. At the same time, I thought it would be cool because I got the roadcaster. I could have more people, and I'm like, Jesus, like I kept cracking on you like, bitch, you're not saying anything, and then Fidel was just right there like.
I was like, because hey, I'll be honest with you. When Mr. Lou wants to talk, he could go.
I know he could.
He could have an episode all by himself, and he can respond to himself. No, he could ask a question and answer his own question all at once.
No, he could.
So that's what I'm saying. Like when he wants to go, I'm gonna let the guy go.
And I feel he does it more like it's almost like he's trying to compensate the fact like, oh, you can't replace me with these guys, right? It's almost like he's scared I'm gonna throw him out.
Yeah, so that's why, there has been moments where I'm like, you want to talk? That's fine with me.
I realized, like, nah, I'm good. Like, if I'm missing, like, a good amount, like the one episode that you missed where Mr. Lou had to go out of town, Gary was like, I don't feel good, and it was just Escalante and me, Gil, and Jose. I thought that was the best episode.
Yeah.
Because Escalante knows when to shut the fuck up.
Well, yeah.
Which is always.
Escalante's like, he can go, like, I can go this whole episode without talking. I don't give a fuck.
But the thing about him, and I think Gil goes, he knows when to come in and say the most dumbest shit or awkwardest shit in the world.
Yes.
And you're like, what the fuck? Like,
where'd that come from?
Exactly.
It's curveball. It's funny.
And that's the only time, I'm going to say right now here on Exclusive, that's the only time I think we'll have guests is when Mr. Lou and Gary are not on the show.
Okay. Yeah.
Because I think that's the only time I can feel the guests can have at least something to say.
Honestly, you're right. You're not wrong.
Yeah. And
it's not a knock on Mr. Lou or anything. It's just.
But that's how powerful they are in the fucking show.
Yeah, like they just love to, especially those 2 guys now together. They've been friends for longer than I've been alive.
Yeah.
So it's like the amount of chemistry they have, you honestly don't need anyone else in the room.
No.
You could fucking go step out. All of us can step out and they could just keep going.
I've done it before. I'll just mute my mic and I'm going to take a piss. And I go take a piss and I go, you know what? I'm going to go get something to eat real quick. I made myself a sandwich during La Concha. and I came back and these guys were still conversating the same fucking conversation. I go, yeah. I know I had to be gone for 20 minutes here.
Yeah, like, so it's not a knock on them. It's just they know how to talk and they just love to. And it's not even the thing of like which is not a compliment, where it's like those people who just love to hear themselves talk. They're not like that. They just enjoy the conversation that they're having.
Yeah.
Because we definitely know some people who just love hearing their own voice or love hearing their own voice in the headphones, and they just want to keep going and keep going and keep going, and they don't know when the fuck to shut up. That's not Mr. Lou. Mr. Lou just loves to dive in on a conversation.
Even if he does another conversation,
he's gonna dive head first, and he's just all about it.
When like the steroid conversation, when he didn't believe about steroid, like, dude, just because not anybody can take steroid to be a fucking MLB guest star.
Yeah, yeah, I'm gonna fucking shoot up right now. Then Jesus Christ, what have I been?
I'm like, you don't know, like, I do. I'm like, I read about it. I'm like, no, because he wouldn't make a statement like that in front of.
Or else everyone would be fucking doing it. Like,
yeah, anybody could have done it. Like,
yeah, I would have had a fat contract right now.
Like the conversation, you were both right. You have to be at least talented enough to show the effects of taking steroids, not just I'm regular me and I'm gonna take steroids and I'm gonna go
play for the Dodgers right now.
I'm gonna play the Dodgers. Oh, guess what? I'm gonna go fight Tyson Fury.
Yeah,
it's not gonna fucking happen. But if I'm like a 15th ranked fighter and I'm starting to juice up,
that's when you see the difference.
Yeah.
That's when you go from 15 to like top 5. You're like, whoa, what the fuck?
He wasn't getting that. He just thought like it was like the super soldier serum from Marvel. Like, oh, I turned into Captain America. Like, that's not how that works, man.
I remember after that episode came out, I had quite a few people hit me up like, nah, bro, you're right.
Dude,
like,
you were.
I said a lot of them were people who played baseball, or a lot of people who just like follow baseball.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, that's not how it works, dude. Like, and I was like, dude, I don't even care. It was a fun conversation. I enjoyed the back and forth. I enjoyed like the arguing, or the not even arguing, like the debating. I love it.
No, I enjoyed it too. But
what makes it fun is because I even told him, I was like, I'm not gonna change your mind. I'm not changing your mind. And he's like, no, you're not. I was like, oh, it doesn't matter. Like, I could say anything, and you're not gonna change your mind. But that's fine, because I'm not changing my mind either. There's nothing he could say that I'm going to change my mind on. Nothing that I could say that's going to change your mind. We could just state whatever we feel, and that's it. And then the conversation's done. Instead of arguing and getting mad at each other, we're just having the conversation.
Funny thing is, we had a fan question the following week, and then calling him a dumbass for thinking this isn't like Marvel super soldier serum.
Yeah.
Like, you just inject it and become a superstar. And he's like, oh, I didn't say that. And we're like, oh, let's rewind the tapes.
Yeah.
And we rewind, and he's like, well, that's not what I meant. You guys didn't let me finish. And I'm like,
oh, we let you finish.
So that I don't know. Well, we haven't been on Instagram. So lately, we've been doing sample clips of Mr. Lou fucking up.
Oh, that's a good one.
And let's rewind the tape. So like a couple weeks ago, he was like, yeah.
Do you add that thing? It's like,
oh, some of them, yeah, I do.
Yeah.
Like when we went to Vegas. He was like, yeah, I rented this car, and it got me there, and I drove 9,800 miles. We're like,
9,800 miles.
I'm like, you didn't drive 9, because he said I filled up at the tank, and it got me there, and I didn't have to fill up not once, and I drove 9,800 miles.
Well, where the fuck did he go?
To Vegas.
No,
exactly. And he said he didn't say that, so I go, oh, let's rewind the tape. So the sample clip goes and rewind the tape, and he said it, and then we even put a poll up saying, did Mr. Lou really say this? And I didn't tamper with the shit. To this day, he goes, you tamper with that. Like, there's no way I can tamper with you saying 9,800.
That's fucking CIA type shit.
He said that because he rented a truck, that his gas was only getting him up to 98 and 100 miles.
Oh, 98 to 100.
He never said 2. He said 9,800.
Yeah, you fucked up.
He fucked up. So that was one, and the second one was he goes, he wanted to go see this woman in a concert, and he yelled at the woman, I want to have your baby. And we're like,
damn.
I'm like, wait, you know you can't have babies. But that's not what I meant. I didn't say that. And I'm like, let's rewind the tape.
I want to have your baby.
I want to have your baby.
That's a good one, dude.
And so he's been catching himself now lately.
But that's good. You fact check him, and then
we hold him accountable for the stupidest shit he says.
Because if you're not held accountable, then you're just gonna say the most stupidest shit ever.
But now he has to be on his P's and Q's now.
Which is good.
Oh, fuck, he's like, all right. Because you know what calls that? Gary calls him out on it. Gary was like, wait, do you want to have his baby?
His baby.
And he was like, no, that's not what I meant. You know, of course a man can't have babies. I'm like, well, no, you yelled.
Dude, but that's not what you said.
Yes, that's what you said. It's so it's just funny nowadays doing like that.
Yeah.
But that's what happens when you have the fourth person in there. Because Escalante wouldn't have caught it. The other one catches it.
And then if it's only you saying it, then he's just going to be like, nah, you're wrong. But when it's more than 2 people, when it's 2 or 3 people in the room telling you like, hey, bro, you said it wrong. You can't,
You done fucked up. Like when you guys brought up Abstination to absolution.
Oh yeah.
Like
that
I'm
shit's
cool with
hilarious.
that. I'm like when I heard it, I'm like, oh shit, I didn't even catch this. And that sounds something I would do. I've done it before. I fucked up names all the time.
Abstination. It was funny.
Abstination. Was I trying to be abstinent that night or something?
That's what we were trying to figure out.
You gotta mention, I thought I finished the whole bottle of whiskey.
That's what I told him. I was like, you guys. I was like, he was in the whiskey pretty hard. Just FYI.
No, but after listening here, the guys are listening. I thought I finished the whole bottle of whiskey.
Yeah.
So I literally thought I was drunk. Like I literally
That
placeboed
you
myself.
fucked your head up. Yeah. It was a placebo.
I placeboed myself because I wasn't that drunk then.
Yeah.
It was more of like, I think it was more tiredness from the event
Mm-hmm.
than anything. And then now that I know, you're not gonna tell me who, but someone fucking was sneaking my fucking whiskey.
I can't name names.
I'm telling you, it was either fucking Isak or fucking Jose Ramos.
Jose was pretty high. Who knows? I don't know.
I don't know. Jose was fucking.
Maybe he got a little crossfaded. Who knows?
Jose was fucking high as fuck.
Yeah, but I wish I could have been something besides sick, dude. Like I wish I could have been high.
You were high.
I was really. I know. I really wanted to take mushrooms, dude, that night. Like just to be in that atmosphere. I wanted to see what it would have done. And the guys offered it to me, like Jesse and them. They offered it to me. I was like, dude, if I take that right now, I'm gonna puke my fucking
You think
life.
so? You would puked it away?
Dude, I've taken mushrooms where, like, I'll take quite a few, and immediately I'll get a little nauseous. But then I power through it,
Okay.
and I'm fine, because it's just kind of in my head.
Mm.
But at that night, if I would have felt any type of nauseous, I'd have threw up. Yeah. So I was like, fuck, I can't take anything. But either way, it still happened. It was fun. What about like the podcast for you in general? Like the whole network. Are you have any plans like when it comes to? Obviously, you're adding shows. You're adding new shows to it. I know. Are you gonna do the whole Jose and Gil thing, or is that not? Or is that just a goof?
I don't know what those guys they keep fucking around like.
It's a good idea.
Well, I mean, Gil has a lot on his plate now with his new business.
Yeah.
I don't know if he's gonna have time to do that. I would love it. I would love to add more shows because then that's more like less work for me to do.
Mm-hmm.
Because
how many shows you guys have right now?
Yeah, Geek In Geek Out, which is every other week. You got Boxing, which is a weekly episode. Ramble Alcoholics weekly. Ramble pregame, which is if we do a Ramble episode, with that. Ships is on hiatus right now until Penny has his stuff done. And that's it right now.
So you got 4.
And then with I Need a Freak, I Need a Freak supplements Ships.
Ah, yeah.
It's a substitute for Ships. Because Ships was going up.
Mm-hmm.
And then we took this little.
It was the Titanic.
We kind of hit an iceberg and we're kind of like, no, we're not sinking. It's just Penny's going through some stuff, personal stuff, and he told me, hey, I need to get this done, and as soon as I get it done, we're back on.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm waiting for that to happen because we have people going, hey, where the fuck are you guys at? Like we love the show. Like it was every other week, but I was like. It was actually like good entertainment episodes, and especially
you guys were really hitting a stride.
And now
I do remember that.
And like right now we're just floating in the fucking ocean right now, not knowing where to go. But we're doing that. I did announce a couple weeks ago, me and my wife are adopting.
Oh, that's right.
So
congrats on that.
Thank you.
I forgot about that.
So with that, I don't know where my schedule's gonna be at now because
the future is very up in the air.
So there might be times where we don't even do a lot of episodes anymore. That's why I kind of like having I Need a Freak because they're doing it weekly.
Mm-hmm.
And then the schedule with Geek is better because it's every other week. And Rambling, like I said, there might be days where I can't because I got to take care of my kid or I got to do this, I got to do that. So it's up in the air. And I kind of feel some of the listeners maybe took not offense to it, but kind of like, oh, I'd rather just stop listening
than get invested.
Yeah, and I'm like, no, we're still going to be here. It's just you're not going to see that much content on Instagram or it's going to be more like we're just going to pop it up when it's up. That's kind of where we're at right now.
Have you talked about the whole adoption process at all?
Not yet. I'm trying to convince my wife, because she does her podcast, Cleaning the Table. I'm like, hey, how about we just do an episode? Because I bet you there's a lot of people here that are going through the same shit I go. And she's kind of there are days where she's like, you know what, but then she doesn't want to. And I'm like, let's just talk about the process. Like,
just the you don't have to get into like super specifics, but just the process of how
we came about to doing this.
How you get it done and all that. Like, what's the first step? Like, because I'm sure there's people out there like, I want to adopt. I don't know where to start.
Mm-hmm.
Who do I call? Who do I email? What website? I wouldn't know.
Like, I wasn't in for it. I wasn't into it. I didn't want to adopt. I didn't want to. I barely pulled the trigger on it in November
Really?
because I was so stuck in my old like kind of like old like machismo. Like, nah, I want my own blood. I want my own kid. And me and my wife been trying for like 13 years. Been married, gonna be 11 this year, but we're together 13. Trying nothing. And she kind of brought it up, and I'm like, no, fuck that. I want my own kid.
Yeah.
And that was an argument we'd have. And this is going into our 10-year anniversary.
Oof.
And I was talking to Penny, and I talked to a couple of my homeboys. I didn't disclose this to the guys because I like to keep everything close to the chest. But I disclosed it to like people that I feel like they'll keep it. And Penny's the one that actually convinced me because Penny knows my thing. I had a dad but didn't have a dad, so I kind of grew up with I had a sperm donor basically. So I grew up without a dad. My mom raised me.
Yeah.
And so he kind of brought it up to me like, look, you don't have the luxury to have a kid, but you can give a less fortunate child the opportunity to have a dad, something you didn't have.
Yeah.
And he brought it to my life. I'm like, that's true. So I thought about it. I soaked on it, got drunk on it. And then on the way to Vegas, like I told my wife, like, hey, let's fucking do it. And I explained the reason why. And she was like, wow. That's the most genuine shit here. Like, because I don't like talking about my fucking, like, not having a dad bullshit because I feel like that's a crutch. I think that's like something like that's weak. But when I told her that, and she's like, wow. I'm like, let's do Vegas. Let's finish off 2022, and then let's look into this whole adoption shit.
Dive like head first.
And now we're balls deep in it. Like I want to go do the background check, the fingerprinting. I even did the tuberculosis test, which is how dumb I was. I thought it was the scoliosis test.
Dude, yeah.
The
TV test is literally just, yeah. All right, come back in 2 days. We're gonna tell. It was like, did it bubble up? No. All right, you don't have to be.
No, yeah, I because I was about to take out my shirt, and then what are you doing? And I'm like, I thought we're doing the test. She goes, yeah, it's tuberculosis. And I'm like, no, isn't it like the test we did in school? And then the doctor goes,
scoliosis.
The scoliosis test. And I'm like, isn't that the same shit? And I was like, no.
Put your shit down. I can just picture you like halfway up, and you're just like,
I'm like, oh, let me put down. My wife thought it was a skit. I'm like, no, I fucking really thought it was a scoliosis test.
Oh my god.
I didn't know.
Fucking belly pants all out.
I know, right?
Yeah.
I was like,
all right, well.
Oh, that guy saw my stomach.
You're like, well, all right. There you go.
Don't forget to tune into the podcast. Yeah, so we did that and fucking filled out a bunch of like paperwork. Like right now, I'm waiting for the email because I gotta I gotta go to adoption college, where basically they teach you, and it's almost like
a parent.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I've even seen some like even after you have a kid, there's like this video that they show you like in case the kid's choking or if they're doing this. So that
I gotta take those classes too. I gotta take CPR classes.
Yeah.
I gotta take safety precaution classes in case I have a pool, and I don't have a pool. But if you do,
or if you're in an area or place that has a pool.
So I need to get certified for that. There's like a process to go, and I keep telling my wife like, hey, we should do an episode. Like it doesn't have to be rambling. It doesn't have to be clean the table. Just the one little episode, and we'll post it on, somewhere. YouTube. We'll post it on YouTube. We'll just sit down on the table, have the camera, and she's like, no, I'm conscious about how I look. Then just do an audio thing, and we'll post it, and we'll make a page up. It's so easy to fucking post a podcast page, and post it there, and then for other people to listen to. Because I feel there's so many people. Like I had so many questions. My wife had so many questions. We were fortunate enough that my wife had a patient that has been into that program and knows the ins and outs of what to do and where to go and how to maneuver. But other people are not fortunate enough.
So with where you're at in the process, like out of like 100%, like are you like halfway there? Like are you 75% way there?
After this past Friday, we're literally in the 75% margin.
Oh, so you're in the home stretch, right?
Yeah. So the next,
like it's just taking the test. After you're done with the test, it's basically.
No, it's after just taking the class, and after that they give us a fucking pamphlet like, oh, we have this plethora of kids. Which one you want?
That's crazy.
And then you do the trial run.
Do you go based off like? Do you choose age wise?
Yeah, we went from 0 to 2, and I'm trying to get an African American so I can put him in the NFL.
Oh, that's good.
I'm trying to do the blind side.
That's a good one.
I'm trying to do the blind side here.
Oh, coach.
Yeah, dude, I was thinking the same thing. Cause I was thinking like I'm gonna put a table up and I'll put boxing gloves, MMA gloves, a baseball, soccer ball.
Let them choose.
Let them choose, and then the instruments too, and then let them choose what they want. I'm like, all right, fuck yeah.
Are you excited?
I think until I hit the knock on the door and they're like, here's the kid you picked. Then because right now I'm cool. I'm talking about it like I'm cool about it. But then I think I won't be until my wife's stressing. My wife's like, we gotta do this, we gotta do that, and I'm just like, we'll get it done.
It'll happen.
It's gonna get done.
Honestly, I would probably be Not nervous, just excited. Like just
I'm excited.
yeah.
I'm excited.
Yeah, nothing. I mean, obviously, the closer you get, I'm sure you'll get nervous. I'm sure you'll get like, holy fuck, this is crazy. But that's awesome, dude. Like just going from, like seeing, like, cause I work with kids, and and fortunately / unfortunately, I hear some, you get close to some of these kids, and you learn their story, and you learn, like the situations that they're in. They didn't get to choose that.
Yeah.
And I was kind of like you, where I was like, no way I would ever adopt a kid. But after working with kids for so long and hearing some of these stories, there's no way like that's not crossed my mind. Like whether it's, somewhere in my life where it's like, whether I have my own kid or don't have my own kid, like that would be an option, because you are like really, really taking on and helping change their life.
No, yeah.
Because their life could easily go south.
This kid could have been the next Richard Ramirez, and I could save this kid right now by just.
You never know.
Yeah, you don't know.
You never know.
This guy could have been fucking Ted Bundy. Like it could be any serial killer you want to call him.
All because they didn't have a dad or a mom or both. And then you're putting them in a situation where they have everything they need. They have two parents that love them very much, that are going to do everything they can to support them and all that. You're changing someone's life so like in such a positive way.
Yeah.
One-way ticket to heaven easily. You could probably murder someone.
I probably would get it. Well, but the biggest thing, the two reasons why I wanted my own kid, and secondly, I thought my family would be like, oh, what the fuck? My family, especially my side, has been the most supportive.
Yeah.
Escalante is ecstatic to be an uncle.
I've been Mr. Lou's
through
the roof.
Ecstatic. Miss Gary was like happy for me.
Yeah.
And then they were like, "Oh, we can deck them out in fucking Rambo gear." That's the first thing everyone was thinking about.
Like, baby's gonna be all Rambo.
Yeah, like literally, we all look like they're like, "Can you make one?" I'm like, I already have it lined up.
A onesie.
I already have it. And then I'll expose it. I think he said it was cool. And as I'm doing this, Escalante's expecting.
Oh my goodness!
So
that's fucking amazing.
So we're both in this process. It's funny because Escalante goes. He goes, why didn't you tell me? And I'm like, because I didn't want to. And he goes, and he told me a couple weeks ago, like, hey, well, the girl he brought is pregnant. So we're both.
Congratulations to him.
Yeah, so we're both in this fucking daddy journey.
That's even better. Now you guys are in it together.
Yeah, and he's like, oh, dude, how are we gonna do it? I'm like, I was thinking of buying this octagon playpen and just putting your kids together and just watching them get, us getting drunk, watching them. Hopefully they pick a fight.
Just calling it live.
Yeah, calling it on the fucking show.
Just being like Joe Rogan and fucking.
Yeah, that's what we're doing. Like, he's like, you serious? I'm like, yeah, I literally looked at Amazon. There's like a little octagon fucking playpen.
That's hilarious.
They got the little foam.
Did you choose the gender? What would you prefer?
I don't care.
Oh, okay.
I really don't care. At this moment, I don't care. It could be a girl. It could be a boy. It doesn't matter.
That's nice.
I think as long as, like you said, I'm changing their life.
Yeah.
That's what matters to me. Like, my wife would prefer a girl.
Oh, okay. Yeah,
but I mean, playing around with Vanessa's kid. I'm kind of more leaning towards a girl, but if whatever comes up, I mean, if it's a kid, if it's a boy, then yeah, cool. If it's a girl, cool.
Dang.
So it's from 0 to 2, and if they're siblings, we'll take them. So if it's a newborn and a fucking
nice.
1-year-old, I don't want to separate them.
Of course, you can't.
And that's the only thing. It's funny because then the guy goes, "What do you guys prefer?" And I'm
yeah, you talked to someone, they asked you? Or?
Yeah, the agent.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I didn't want to be.
It's kind of hard, right?
I didn't want to be fucking racist.
Oh, like ethnicity wise.
Like, what do you want? And I'm like,
that's such a weird question.
And I'm like, it doesn't really matter. I was like, a Hispanic preferably.
Oh.
And I look, and the agent's black.
And you're like, hey, this ain't Denny's. You better fucking chill out, dude.
And I'm like, what the fuck? And he's like, and he goes, he cuts up and closes the door. And he goes, can I ask you guys why? And I'm thinking, dude, no way. And then, and I didn't know I didn't know what to say. And I'm like, oh fuck. I didn't know. Because I didn't care. It could have been an Asian or black. I didn't care. I just wanted a kid.
Yeah.
I just wanted a kid. And she was like, well, look, I mean, these kids are coming from like broken homes, and I prefer Hispanic because our family's Hispanic, and if you're gonna reroute this kid, we want to keep it within the same type of like language, instead of like you're gonna plug somebody that doesn't speak a word of English or Spanish, and you're gonna stick them here. There's gonna be this big language barrier. The kid's gonna be more traumatized than it is. And
there's gonna be an immediate disconnect.
Yeah, and she's giving the whole thing, and I'm like, oh shit, she's right. And then the guy goes and he gets up real quick, and I don't know who he's looking at. And he goes, believe me, that's the best idea. we're supposed to tell you guys everyone should be open.
Pick anybody you want.
But that makes he told me that's how he said the guy goes, that makes the most fucking sense.
It does.
And logically, he goes to me. This is the first interview process we did. 'Cause we went to 2 interviews.
Yeah.
This is the first interview. He goes, this is the first time I heard a fucking parent tell me the reason why. And don't think it's racist. It's not racist. You logically thought about why.
Yeah, because it honestly can affect a kid. Like, let's say once school comes around, and you're picking them up from school. Let's say you chose a little black kid.
Little LeBron.
Immediately, those kids at school, and I've seen it.
Mm-hmm.
Those kids at school are gonna be like, "Why does your dad look different?"
I can pass as black though.
Or like, "Why does your mom look? Why it does you? Are you adopted?" It's like,
yeah, that's what she. But the thing is, my wife did all the homework. She fucking looked at everything, and I was like, all right, cool. So she did all the work. She did all the like manual work of like looking everything up. That's why she came to the conclusion of that, because she read all these case studies of rerouting these kids and like the language barrier, the color barrier, and she didn't want to do that to that kid.
Mm-hmm.
So right, Hispanic.
So this is a question that I've had with myself if I were to ever adopt,
Okay.
especially if you were to adopt 0 to 1 to 2 or whatever, because they're gonna grow up. Are you? And this can be, you don't have to answer it or not, but this is what I've thought of: is when or if I tell them they were adopted.
At this moment, I would say yes, because I don't know the medical history. And, knock on wood, something happens. You have to tell the kid, hey, guess what? Like, even though we've got you, we've told you we're your mom and daddy, but this is the reason why we're not your biological parents. We still love you. I would want transparency.
At what age would you? Because
I think when you start noticing the kid doesn't look like you, and the kid starts realizing, especially.
But if you get let's say you get a little Hispanic boy or girl, like, I mean, they pass. They could pass.
You know what the funny thing is? I always feel like someone's gonna blurt it out. Like one day, Escalante joking, he's like, "Is that really your kid, dude?"
Oh my god!
You know what I mean? Like they'll say something stupid, or like let's say he stumbles upon an episode like this one.
Yeah, I heard you talking to.
I heard about this episode you did like 10 years ago, and
you're talking to Coach Chris.
He's talking to Coach, and Coach Chris said, so I'm adopted, and I'm like, fucking Coach Chris.
Hey man, your dad said it, dude.
I would want there to be like truth. I don't want to hide it.
That's good.
Because they asked us that, like, hey, would you? I'm like, yeah, fuck it, I would. Are we allowed to have that information? He goes, yeah, like they're not closed. You can have that information.
Well, yeah. Do you become their parent? You would know everything about them.
But you know about their family too. Like,
yeah, no, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Like you're taking on this person, this child. You deserve the right to know everything.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I have a friend who's adopted and didn't find out until like 20, 22, 21. Or maybe even later, like maybe 23 or so. So, luckily for him, he was like cool about it. But yeah, like it's slippery slope if you don't, because then you're living that whole life of just like, one of these days they're gonna find out.
Like when they come looking for the kid and like, hey, I'm your dad. And like, no, that's my dad. And
and they're like looking at like they look alike. You're like,
damn. I gotta know. I don't know. I think it depends on the situation for me. I want to tell them.
Yeah, your immediate thought is to tell them.
Yeah.
Now the age, that's a different story. That's like when you tell them what age, whatever.
Yeah.
But yeah, that is a tricky conversation to have. But obviously, all that matters is you fucking love them.
Yeah, hell yeah. And they're good at sports.
Yeah.
They gotta be good at sports. I'm literally like,
have it back.
Like if I find out the kid can't throw a ball or can't throw a left hook to the body, like with the vengeance, I'm gonna have to like, can I give him back? Like, is there like, what's the return policy on these? Like,
is it 90 days? Is it 3 years?
Yeah,
they got 2-year warranty on this thing?
I mean, what is it?
Oh, were you scared about the podcast? Like when you were doing like the vetting process or anything?
Oh fuck! I'm still scared to this day. I'm scared they're gonna come back and be like, we are rejecting your application. I'm like, and can I find the reason why?
Who's Whiskey J?
And then they pull out the rambling poster. Like, is that you? Getting drunk?
And then you're just like
talking about cornholing somebody in the backseat of your fucking Ford Focus. And I'm like, no, that's a guy named Whiskey J. Is this your face? plastered in someone else's fucking body.
That's AI, dude. You didn't know?
Yeah.
This technology is amazing.
I honestly thought, but no. I think I've done enough a good job to like separate my private account to my rambling account, and it's kind of hard for someone to be like, look, unless they're going with a fine tooth comb. I think it's hard. I'm off
because you don't have your full name on there, right?
No, I don't. It's only in my private account that it's my full name.
I honestly do that with the Kickback. Like I have the guys' names on them, but it's not first and last.
Nah,
So it's usually just
And like
Jesse, Abe, and Louis.
if they were to do a deep dive, like a deep social media dive, they probably could find that as me. But I don't think I've said anything to be like I'm not fit.
Yeah, like you don't deserve a fucking.
I mean, aside from the drinking problem that people consider an alcoholism, but that's about it.
I mean, who doesn't have a look?
Exactly. I mean, I grew up with an alcoholic family, and it turned out
Okay, you
fine.
turned out
with a successful podcast.
exactly.
You know, live show under my belt. A plethora of podcasts that I produce.
How many podcasts do you think you've done?
Well, with the ramblings, 250.
Just podcasts in general,
No, that's
whether
what
it
I'm
be
saying. I'm
whether
doing
it
the
be
math.
on someone else's guest appearances, yours, ships, fucking geek in, geek out.
I want to say I'm almost getting close to 1,000. I gotta be batting close to 1,000.
Wow.
I want to say that because I've done like what 5. I think if there's like a recurring guest here, like I think you should do a count. How many people have come here on the show? I think I have to be at least in the top 10.
For
A recurring guest.
for this episode, for this podcast.
Yeah. Same thing with you. I think you have the most.
Yeah, you're up there.
I think you're up there, but I want to say because like I got 254 coming up. Geekend probably a good 100. So I'm close to 100. The J&B is already that's 5. That J&B and the Rambling are kind of close to the same amount of podcasts. That's already 500 right there.
That's super crazy that you've been doing the J&B Ray boxing one for a while now. It just doesn't feel like it. I don't know what it is.
Because I do it once in a while. It's like more of a hobby for me. That's why I don't.
Yeah.
I really don't put that much energy into that one because it's more of like it's my hobby. I love boxing. Even if I don't, that show stinks. That show like were to die, I'd still talk about it. Yeah. I still found a way to talk about it in the show. Like I love the sport. But yeah, I want to say like I gotta be close to like at least 1,000 on podcast stuff, like being on your stuff, Gil's, Jose's, Yuli's, fucking where else I've been. Fucking, I mean it, I say it, like, but just a bunch. I think it's got to be close to 1,000. I mean, I want to say.
Wild. I don't even remember how many.
And then doing my own, like, I think bundling everything up, it's got to be closing at that. But hours, I think I've done fucking.
Have you ever thought about doing all those episodes on one, like link or one page?
I thought about it. What the fuck was I thinking about that? I think I was thinking about that when I was flying back from Orlando. And I go, you know what? Should I just do a whole page of just like?
Because that has been my like thing that I've been like. I want to do all the other podcasts that I've had in my head, like the Kicking Back with Chris, the sports one. I want to bring back, but I'm like, I don't want to deal with 3 different accounts or 3 different anchors or 3 different Instagrams. Like I just want
one
or 3 different YouTubes. Like I just want one fucking thing for everything.
But wouldn't that kind of like dilute what your fans is?
It would, and that's why I haven't done it, because I know it's not gonna help the like the sports one might not help with the Kickback one, or the Kicking Back with Chris. I could only see that one maybe being
up there
squeezed in between like the Kickback, but even then, like it's its own thing. So it's like fuck. Like I just want to do them all, but I want it to be. I'm being lazy. I want it to be just one thing.
I mean, I've done the YouTube thing where I have everything in once.
If it's something that's all in one, it has to be the YouTube.
Yeah, because that's why I have everything, and then that's where I kind of see where fans like most. I'm like, okay, they like the boxing thing, streams, geeking. Well, Ships was actually the one leading, and then it was the boxing. Now it's the boxing because Ships is we're not doing it as much, but it's like right there. So, I mean, yeah, like I said, I thought about it because same thing. I mean, I have so many fucking portals open for all these fucking anchor accounts. And I gotta put them on there. Like, can I just do one and just be like, done? But then I think about it, like, wouldn't that dilute? Because they might be just boxing fans who just want to listen to boxing. They don't want to listen to 4 drunk bastards talk shit. You know, there might be geek people. They just want to hear geek. No. And maybe sports, so they might want to listen to that, but they don't care about rambling. Or vice versa. They don't care about the rest. So I feel like a dilute. I think the numbers would be a little bit less. Maybe in my eyes, I think so. Because I thought about it, like, I want to make it easier. But then I
Yeah.
want to hire an assistant to do all that work for me.
It'd be nice, right?
That's why I hire somebody. Like, oh,
An intern.
hey,
You know,
Pat,
pay- you know,
like,
pay
hey,
your-
Patrick, put this episode up, bitch. Yes, sir. Right away, Mr. Colonel, sir.
Yeah, you just gotta find. You gotta go to one of those colleges and figure out a way
To credit
that
it.
you can get your whatever intern credits for college. I don't know how you go about that. but-
No,
Yeah, like we both need to.
I
So
don't.
we just run a program. This is a program. You're gonna learn how to produce a podcast. You're gonna learn how to edit a podcast. You're gonna learn how to upload a podcast.
You're gonna learn how to clean a studio after a podcast.
Yeah, you're gonna learn how to fucking clean the studio, clean the mics, clean the cords, clean everything.
do the whole thing.
It's a lot. I feel like that's worth credit
I think
for
so.
like let's say if going back to like Cerritos College, radio, TV, film, I was sitting in a class just learning the history of radio, TV, and film. But if I had an opportunity to like learn how to do the ins and outs of everything, kind of like how they had the radio station, I only stumbled upon that because I needed extra credit because I was failing that fucking class. There was no intern type of thing or deal where it's like, hey, you can go and work with a radio station or a podcaster and learn how to, handle a show or learn how to do this. Like, I honestly feel like that would be beneficial for
I think
somebody. Like, you're gonna learn. I'm gonna teach you something. You're gonna learn at the very least. You're gonna learn how to edit a podcast.
Definitely.
You're gonna learn how to upload a podcast and learn, where to put it and how to put it and all that other shit. That's the bare minimum. The rest is like learning how to format the show and like the ins and outs of that. But I feel like that's enough to get some credit.
Especially nowadays where everyone's doing a podcast and some are being successful about it and some are making them into a business about it. Like I keep getting those commercials on Instagram. I don't know if you are, where people are renting out like their garage or they
For a studio.
or they got an office building and they converted it into a podcast studio and I go
And they rent it out.
shit, like this is crazy.
I've thought about it. I've thought about it so much.
I was like, I've been tempted like, gosh, should I go rent one now just to be like fancy and shit like this?
I did one in Uptown Whittier.
Yeah, I remember.
But it was free because they had just started and they reached out to me and they're like, you could record your podcast here. I was like, all right, fuck it, I'll record. I never came back because their prices were ridiculous.
Yeah, they tried to offer me a 30-day trial, and then afterwards, and then they sent me the original price, and I'm like,
Yeah, that shit was like $200 a week or something like that. I was like, what the fuck?
bitch, I ain't making. I mean, I ain't
I'm like,
making that money.
$200 a week. That's $800 a month.
The fuck? That's a rent. That's
Like,
that's a cheap ass.
Like, might as well go find my own spot and fucking rent that shit out.
My goal is to at least have a spot.
Yeah.
I would love to to buy a warehouse, convert it into a podcast studio for everybody.
It would be so
Like
cool. Like, each person gets their corner. So, like, this corner is the Rammy Alcoholics corner, and you design it however you want. You could have someone fucking paint the walls and do whatever. And then that corner's a different show. That corner's a different show.
I would like that. I would love it. I'd love it to be like that. Where, like,
That'd be the dream.
That would be dream. Like to own a nice big lot, and each room is for like whatever show, and that's it. Like I'd love it because then you have so much things going on. Like across the room, it can be like, hey, you know what? I'm done doing this. I'm gonna go fuck with the Kickback. I'm gonna go to their room right now and go fuck around and go do their podcast, and vice versa. Like it doesn't have to mean I own everything or you own everything. It's just I want it to be a community where it can just be like all the shows where everyone's doing the show. Like Jose can do his shit there, Gil can do his shit there, and then if we have enough space, you can even make it into a fucking live area.
Yeah.
Like
you clean out move all the tables out of the way, and boom, or whatever.
That's my goal. Like, damn, like if everybody, especially because I'm always looking into like investing and stuff. I would invest in buying a property and then from there grow that because you would grow it.
Yeah.
Because you can always rent the space out, just fucking to other podcasters or to events, and make money off of it. Like
some way, somehow.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's the way I would go about it and shit. But again, that's just a dream.
It is a dream. That's definitely that would be the coolest thing to do. I think the only way that happens is if you were to, like, that's a daily thing. Like, you would have to be there every day, like doing an episode of something.
That would be my job.
Which you already have 4 different podcasts. So like each day would be, devoted to one episode or one thing a week.
And that's tough already.
Yeah,
it's tough.
But if that was your job,
oh fuck,
it'd be a lot easier. Like if you weren't working, and that was just your job, that would be a lot easier.
Oh man, I'd have the Mark Wahlberg schedule. I just wake up, work out, do all this,
Work out, go record a podcast, fucking yeah, dude.
work out again, go do another podcast,
Go sit in the sauna or something,
Yeah.
dude. It's game over like that.
go work out again.
Yeah, like Mondays you go and you're doing, the boxing one. Then Tuesdays you're doing Geek In, Geek Out. Wednesdays you're doing, rambling. Like you're whatever.
Mm-hmm.
Each day that'd be the dream.
Yeah, fuck yeah, that would be a dream. That is the dream for me. One day to be like, you know what, I can do this full time.
Yeah.
But then I feel like it would be like, it would take away, because I think what makes rambling good is the fact that we collect everything we've done in one whole week, sit down and just fucking, like, to me it's therapy.
Like you vent.
Yeah, like the whole work week.
Like this happened at work.
Yeah, like
The show would be different if you guys didn't work.
yeah,
Like you wouldn't have.
what would be the conversations, bro? Us getting pissed drunk and arguing? Like really look at it now. Like I think now I'm bursting my own dream. Like I wouldn't want this to be my full-time job, because what the fuck am I gonna talk about? How rich I am because I'm making money off this podcast?
Yeah.
Guess what, guys? I'm living out my dream. I'm out here.
Now I got shit to say.
What am I gonna say? Where before it was like fucking work, fuck this, fuck that, fucking, like, what am I gonna do?
At that point, it's like it's all about just going out looking for a story for you to talk about. Like you're having to, like, kind of like what happened with me when I first started doing the kickback with the guys. Like my brother got it in my head. He's like, you know what this means, right? I was like, wait. He's like, you gotta start going out more, and it'll just create stories for the podcast. I was like, fuck, dude. He's like, all right, what else you can talk about? You can't talk about the same shit every week.
Yeah, you can.
And I was like, son of a bitch.
I've done it.
Yeah, and then I started thinking, I was like, man, I do got it. And then eventually I got to the point where I was like, I need to be fucking going out every weekend just to talk about the podcast. But yeah, that's the dream, right? Is to get
Like, what am I gonna tell? I was hanging out with Jared Leto, guys, and what the fuck am I gonna do?
He's talking about his new movie.
Yeah,
Yeah.
What is Hollywood premiering? Oh fuck!
I was at the red carpet.
It was a red carpet, doing Rambling Network was doing at this new beer opening. We're like, what the fuck am I gonna talk about?
Yeah.
Like, I'd rather just I keep it, and the thing about it, I'd rather keep it the way it is.
Just get a little part-time job.
I would. I'm gonna work at
A
five.
little part-timer. Just fuck it.
I'd work at Five Guys.
Oh, this fucking guy ordered a stupid-ass burger. Like, he wanted no this or no that. Like, all right, this is
It's in,
this is the end of the Rambling Alcoholics, I guess. Bitching about Five Guy orders.
I know, if I'm like literally sitting down talking about fucking a part-time job bullshit, then that I'm already.
Yeah, it's
Hit
time
the
to
road.
wrap it up.
I gotta wrap it up. I'm like, fuck, I can't do
But
this.
that would be like your ultimate dream, is to do that? Like, just be able to podcast full-time?
Yeah, but now I'm thinking about it. Do I really want it then?
Would you ever turn... Do you think you would be able to do Rambling Alcoholics as a daily show?
It's so much shit.
Like, just an hour every day, or an hour or 2 hours. That's when it gets really
Yeah,
crazy.
I think it'd be crazy. You gotta think about the rest of the guys' schedules. Because I mean, when we tried to do a Ramble pregame during the pandemic, not even during the pandemic, the tail end, it was hard to get these guys just to come in during the middle of the week to record this shit, because it was a YouTube show.
Mm-hmm.
It was hard.
Yeah,
And
I do remember that.
It was fuck. I can't, like, dude, I promise that we're gonna put in a YouTube episode every Wednesday. We would record Tuesday,
Whew.
and these guys were like, "Oh, I can't. I got this." Oh, I'm like, fuck it. I'm scrapping it.
Yeah.
And now we have Patreon, and Escalante is like the.
How is the Patreon going on, anyways?
You know what the thing is? You know how we talk about Escalante being quiet.
Mm-hmm.
He's the most talkative during Patreon.
That's where the money comes from.
Like, Ramble pregame is his fucking. It's his baby.
Really?
Like, he cues up the music. He has the topics. We go for like
good.
30, 40 minutes. That's his baby. Like,
Mm-hmm.
he's the one that reminds me, like, hey, we're still going, right? I'm like, yeah, cool. I got the playlist for the music this week. I'm like, oh
Shit.
yeah, I want to talk about this. I think we should talk about that. I'm like,
All right, fuck it.
and he apologized, like, hey, because he still leaves during the second half, and he'll be like, hey, my bad. I'm like, bro, the work you put in for Ramble pregame
It's suffice.
is suffice, because you do Ramble pregame and you stay for the first hour. It's almost like you stayed for the full episode of Ramble Alcoholics,
Mm-hmm.
and the fans actually appreciate it more.
Yeah.
Because we'll get the comments like, yo, really good episode, really like this. Oh, I love the music. Oh, Escalante, you were fucking, like, people love it.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm like, oh, I'm gonna keep, and I don't mind he leaves early now, because again, he puts in the work. Then before we do the Rambling Alcoholics,
Mm-hmm.
Miss Shalu's the one that shits on him, but Miss Shalu doesn't hear it because he doesn't pay for Patreon.
Damn.
But if he did, I think he would see that the kid puts in work.
Yeah,
He's putting in the work, doing all this stuff.
that's true.
He's the one that all I gotta do is just press record. He has it. It's already synced up. His phone synced up to the thing. We play our music. We
Man,
talk about whatever he wants to talk about. Topics that he thinks that are gonna be good for the episode, and then we're done. I don't even have to edit it, post it up, and then all right, what do we call it? I think the last thing we said was this. All right, that's the name of this episode. Put the poster up. That's it.
damn.
Like
There you go. That's good, dude.
Yeah, the episode's up
When he's
like
putting in work like that.
episode's done like in 15 minutes after we finish recording.
Fuck,
Yeah, it's up already on Patreon. People are listening to it, already liking and commenting it.
that's badass.
Up
I'm
now.
still stuck. I don't know Patreon. I want to do it, but
I think if you have certain content,
yeah, that's the thing. I don't know if I have enough content. I don't.
I think yeah.
If I started doing the kicking back with Chris and the sports one, obviously, if I just made that Patreon episodes only, but then I wouldn't be able to grow them because it's only on Patreon. I would need to. Yeah, I don't know.
It's hard. Like I mean, like I said, Rum Pregame could be in its own episode, but it's not because he gets away with a lot of shit that he doesn't say on the show.
Mm-hmm.
That he'll say here, and he's like, "Can I say these words?" I'm like, "Yeah, it's Patreon. I think we can get away with this."
Mm-hmm.
It's more old school rambling kind of language,
Yeah,
so we can get away with it.
that's crazy how it's changed. How like the beginning used to be pretty wild.
And this is a little wild, but it's like a short little 30, 40-minute
Little
episode.
chunk.
Little chunk of like just shit we say. Like he'll say stupid shit. I'm like, oh, fuck, it's Patreon. We're good. He can say it. And then, like I said, we usually post the episode out before it comes out on regular. So I think Fidel goes, why am I going to pay for something that I'm going to get later on for free?
Yeah.
And people actually do. Like, I'd rather listen to it now because I want it now.
Yeah.
So, because right now, Geek and Geek Out was out last Thursday. It was on Patreon Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. It just came out today for everybody.
Oh, that is a good chunk of time.
I put it out, yeah. So
Yeah.
people have like at least a couple of days of it for like exclusively.
That's a good point. But yeah, I'm still battling with the whole Patreon.
You
thing.
have, I know you have, but I mean, you have a valid point of why you're battling it for. You're not gonna just charge somebody for shit that you didn't know.
Yeah, like if it was just the kickback, like I'm not gonna charge you for that. Like you're already gonna get it.
Mhm.
Like what's the point? Like kind of like the whole Fidel thing. But if the only way I do it is if I have a lot of extra content and bonus episodes and bonus this or bonus that, and that's when. But till then, it's still in the back of my mind. There's still a lot of shit.
Well,
in
you're
the
still
back of
doing
my
the
mind.
YouTube, and I think that's even good.
Yeah, I'm trying to stay as consistent as possible with that. So we'll see how that goes, and that's the whole thing about podcasting. Really, is just staying consistent.
Mm-hmm.
And once you get in that rhythm of just constantly, like pretty much just getting on your schedule. All right, on Monday I'm gonna work on this so it can go out on Tuesday, and then on this day I'm gonna work on that, and then you just got to get into that realm or that consistency, that schedule. And luckily for me, like I'm almost done with work. Summer's coming.
So
That's usually when the kickback goes to the front, and then it just.
That's when that's when we're eating your dust. I'm like, fuck, this guy's already out posting shit every fucking week.
That's when I can. That's when I have time to like. I don't know, clips, boom, and then that every summer. I'll be honest with you, every summer is when I get a good boost.
Yeah,
and it shows because of all the content I'm putting out on Instagram. So every summer is when it kind of just do.
That's like your peak season.
And then I ride that out into all of the rest of the year, and then winter break comes around, and I might have a little extra time to keep doing, and then when the new year starts is when it's like, oh fuck, I got now I got basketball going on, this and that, and it just goes like.
So would you say you're seasonal? You're a seasonal podcast. You do it, but if you actually look at it, you're like very seasonal. Like you got you're like a sport. This is like the season.
Prime season is here.
Season's here.
Yeah.
That's how I would sell it. The prime season and kickback is here.
Yeah. Everything was all preseason. This is.
Yeah, like you thought you guys liked preseason.
And it helps. You know why? You know why it helps? Because summer hits, and all four of us do like our own shit. So we all come back
with all the stories.
So like this summer, I'm going to Puerto Rico.
Mm-hmm.
Louis is going golfing all over the place. Jesse's going to Mexico. Abe is going to have the summer that beats us all because he's going to Germany. He's going to Amsterdam. He's going everywhere. So,
fuck.
Yeah. So when we all come back is when it's just going to be like bam, 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 content, clips. So I'm really looking forward to that is when summer hits, we all kind of do our own thing, and then we come back and it's just guess what I did? No, guess what I did?
Oh,
And so that's when it kind of really, I think that's what helps too, is like have the little boost because we're all doing something.
No shit, Jesus.
Yeah. All right. So is there anything, or what? I would say anything, but what would you like to promote? Just Instagrams, all that. And
Follow us on Instagram, Rambling Alcoholics Podcast 1 on Instagram, or if you want to follow all the shows we just talked about, Ships the Podcast, Geek In, Geek Out, J&B Boxing Podcast, I Need a Freak Podcast. I feel like I'm missing another one. Cleaning the Table, Miss Kitty, because I know my wife's gonna tell me shit. Go to the Rambling Network at the Rambling Network YouTube, Instagram channel, and if you guys like the video content, YouTube Rambling Network. That's where you get all the J&B Boxing Whittier Fight Club stuff, which you need to come to one. I think you.
I want to do one. Yeah, I came to one.
You came like tell me.
It was like late in.
Hey, B, still, I was like, because I invited you and Fidel, and both of you guys like, but I get it. You guys were busy. You had a wedding, and he had a baseball game in Arizona.
Oh damn.
Yeah, so I was like, fuck.
I got to hang out with his son a few weeks ago. We were working on some hitting.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, he's a cool kid.
Damn. See, that's the content you should record, Coach Chris.
It's a whole new page, Coach Chris.
There you go. Yeah, follow us on YouTube. Give us a 5-star rating. Helps with the visibility. Again, just follow Rambling Alcoholics. New episode of Rambling Alcoholics this Saturday, episode 254. Hopefully Gary's back from his fucking stomach flu, quote unquote. 'Cause I don't think he wanted us to make fun of him about certain situations. And just listen to Patreon. Get on the Patreon. Ramble pregame. Me and Escalante just shoot the shit. It's old school rambling and bonus material, bonus content, behind the scenes stuff. And pretty much episodes drop before they even hit the free feed. I'll take that from Jose. Free feed.
The free feed.
Other than that, I'm assuming you'll put all the link on the bio for me.
Everything. I'll just put. Yeah, just check. Go
just
to the
put Rambling
description.
Network. Just put Rambling
Go
Network.
to the description. The Instagrams will be there, and
Yeah.
probably the YouTube will be there too.
Just put the Rambling Network and then put the Rambling YouTube channel, and you're fine.
Yo,
And
yeah.
it has everything. Real quick, go to the page. Well, by the time it's up and whatever, we might announce the new hat color. We're working on the hats.
Yeah, this one's coming out not this Tuesday, next Tuesday.
Then we might come up with the hat color by
Okay.
then. But well, fucking people vote anyways. Other than that, thank you.
All right. Tune in next time. Thanks for listening. And who knows? Maybe the guys come back. Maybe I get another heavy hitter. Who knows?
It should be a heavy hitting reunion.
You never know. We still haven't done that yet, huh?
No, we still haven't done a recap of the heavy hitters of it. Like all
I think
four.
we've all done our own separate recaps. So you guys can go to each of those podcasts and hear about our shit. But yeah, thanks for listening. Tune in next time. And I will talk to you all later.